Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Greer Industries, improving people's lives for more than a century.
Meteorologist Joe Hansel here. Continue to take those proper precautions with the heat wave that'll be ongoing this week. Some daily records may be possible for highs and overnight lows here and there. Regardless, continue to plan for the increasing heat risks this week. Areas, heat advisories, lots of extreme heat warnings. Time and the heat index values may vary here and there, but generally in Charleston, it's out until 10 o'clock Friday night yet for a peak heat index up to 106. And we are stacking up to an extreme heat risk in the purple there for some areas of state. Regardless, take those necessary precautions with some well above average heat and humidity that's going on. We have a high 94, low at 71 yesterday in Charleston. Flies through your forecast. It starts at home. Washington, D.C., potentially 3 consecutive days with triple-digit highs, not accounting for the heat index. Some records potentially in there for multiple areas from Appalachia, Carolinas, Mid-Atlantic, and Northeast through the holiday weekend. From Panhandle to Panhandle, extreme heat warnings continue. Highs in the 90s, higher heat index values. Eastern Panhandle, extreme heat warning. Some highs, just the high temperatures, up to 103 is listed here. Again, locally today, we may see a temperature record up in Elkins, 94. That would be a daily record high for you today. And to the west, heat advisories to extreme heat warnings continue. 97 in Huntington with the higher heat index value as well. And with this heat wave, again, there's little to no relief with the lows overnight in the 70s. 100 for a high tomorrow, potentially in Charleston, 95 Morgantown. A couple of isolated thunderstorms may develop Friday afternoon, mostly near the higher terrain. Again, that's pretty localized for storm coverage. As this heat dome breaks down, that will open the door for some chances of showers and storms. It could become strong or severe. I'll keep eyes on chances of storms 4th of July, high of 98 degrees.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
This is Metro News Hotline, presented by Salango Law. Metro News Hotline is a 3-hour audio tour navigating the world of sports, news, entertainment, tech, and more from a Mountain State point of view. For your entertainment, Hotline is a no politics zone. You can join the conversation. Text the show at 304-825-5304. 304-TALK 304. Or call 800-765-8255. Here's the host for Metro News Hotline, Dave Weekley.
Hello, West Virginia. We are back for more in the 304. Time to get it done in the 681. Time to start this 3-hour audio tour for Thursday, July 2nd, 2026. Welcome back inside the Heat Dome. Metro News Hotline. Metro News Hotline comes to you from the Salango Law Studios. Visit salangolaw.com. Ooh, it's a toasty one. 92 degrees outside as we begin our festivities today. And this is one of those shows, Coop, where we can't get any more people in this show with a crowbar. I mean, it is absolutely packed today. Are we officially, can we technically say that we're beginning the holiday today with the regatta starting up and whatever is going on downriver?
In the building, we are about to be the only people left. So I think that is that's a good way to start saying that the holiday has started. I mean, like, we'll be here and news will be here, but I mean, front office, sales, those folks are getting ready to start their holiday weekend.
What time are they closing the front desk?
Now.
Now?
I'm pretty sure.
What if Ryan needs DoorDash or whatever?
I mean,
I don't have DoorDash.
You don't have DoorDash.
And he has legs and can walk, you know. I mean, there's
also,
a door.
Also, my dad has a few food services around town, so why would I need DoorDash?
Solid point, you know.
Absolutely solid point.
Yeah, when when you could just call and be like, hey.
Man, it was so hot. A couple of things today. Coop, this is maybe the first time this has ever happened in 13 years of this show. I literally carried my sweater from home and put it on when I got here.
Okay.
Okay. You ever do that?
No.
You've never done that?
I don't think so.
Well, what about when it was an extremely hot day and you're going to work and your car doesn't have air conditioning?
You always just take things that you do and are surprised that other people don't do them.
Yeah.
Like, is this a thing? Like, I don't know. I have a sweater and a jacket up in my office. If it gets cold somewhere, I'll slide one of those on.
Okay.
That's how come you don't have a sweater and a jacket here?
Well,
I mean, don't you bring your sweater and jacket from home and leave it here so you have one here? That seems weird. You don't have those here, Dave.
I just know from my previous broadcasting experience to travel light.
Oh no, now that is true. That is true. You don't want to have to to do that. Right?
I'm like when they say it's time to go, it's time to go. Okay.
Coop, has this ever happened to you? Have you ever been driving and had someone cut you off during traffic?
No.
This happened to me earlier today, and it's so strange.
All right.
Do people actually do this, Coop?
All right. Let me just
Happy 4th, everybody.
Yeah, happy 4th, everybody.
Happy 4th on the 2nd.
There you go. Okay, here's a couple of things that may or may not have ever happened to you guys. I got in the car today, which had been sitting in the driveway for a while, and I fired up the car, and the temperature in the car said it was 111 degrees. That seems kind of warm.
Yeah, it's depressing when I get the little text from my weather app every morning, that tells me like what to look out for the day, like grab an umbrella or whatever it might be. And today it was just like, da.
Yes. Okay.
Like it was just like red exclamation point triangle real feel 114 degrees. I was like, oh God.
Okay. Here's another
desert conditions
that
possible.
may or may not have happened to you, but has happened to me in the past. When you are driving on an extremely hot day and you've got your phone in the passenger seat of the car. And then suddenly, after about 30 minutes, you look over and your phone is overheating.
Yeah, well, it turns off. The pixels turn off. And so I had to, when I first got that model of phone, I never had one that so aggressively turned itself off before. I had to get used to that.
Well, that's cool.
Because it would automatically turn off, which is great that it protects it, but really bad if you need to use the phone real quick.
Here, and one more thing that may or may not have occurred to you guys is when I got in the car and started working my way downtown today, the steering wheel is so hot.
You know what happened? Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Hot.
And I remember that from back in my day of rolling whips when I was renting cars all the time. Some of those things would just get so hot. You know what happened to me today? I was getting out of my car after just driving from my house. We're talking about an 8-minute drive. So I drove from my house over to here. And, of course, I mean, the sun's just beating down through my windshield and everything. When I get out of my car to walk into work, the knees of my pants are hot.
Oh, man.
From where they were baking in the sun in my car just in the 8 minutes to drive over here. That's pretty hot.
Oh, that is really hot. We got a lot of stuff to talk about on the show today. I thought that was pretty interesting, doing our whole heat thing, because we are going to be talking about the regatta.
I'm trying to decide, and we can do this on the air if you want. Should we have Ryan open up the show in here tomorrow, and should I be down on the boulevard with like a microphone and do some man on the street stuff about how hot it is?
Yeah.
I might have to do something like that for the regatta.
Wouldn't it be funnier to send Ryan down there?
I mean, maybe, but I kind of want to do it.
Okay.
He just wants the snacks.
Well, I just thought it would be nice because what I was thinking about doing is taking my heat gun, the thing where I can get temperatures, and I would just walk up to people like, so how hot is it? And then I would actually tell them how hot it is, and then we'll start some discussion.
I got a whole chapter about that from my dust-covered book of local news of all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
like
I was
that
thinking a little bit about that, how we could turn that into a little bit of a bit, and I think that might be kind of fun.
Yeah, keep your pets inside, Coop.
Oh man,
keep your pets inside and try
but not at the radio station.
And try to stay hydrated. Stephanie knows what I'm talking about. Back in the Stephanie's in the box back there. Man, I tell you what, I opened the door for Stephanie's little cubicle back there where she's working on the things that she's working on. Man, it's hot back there.
Is there like a little gerbil water dispenser thing where she has to like hit the peg and for the water to come out? Like if you had a guinea pig or a gerbil.
They haven't put it in yet.
They need one back there.
I'm glad we heard from you back there because I was really concerned.
Do you need to leave this line open for an emergency?
Yes, please.
Well, I'm glad we're all here. And
if you hear a thump, please come check on me.
Oh, I definitely will. But man, that door, we got a little breeze working through there. That is good. Okay, we got We got sort of a video game report, right? Tomorrow, but we have some video game stuff I want to talk about.
We have a real video game report tomorrow.
If I could just my video game report, I was going to bring this up at some point, and so I'll just jam it in here. Every single console has seen a 25% price increase.
Yeah,
they've all gone up in prices. Mm-hmm. So unlike usually when consoles are out for a year or two, they start going down. They're going up in prices now.
And a bunch of companies are doing layoffs.
Yeah.
Sports stuff. Coop, did you see where the Reds are actually beating the Brewers right now?
They're nickel and diming Mazeroski a little bit, which is frankly something that the Reds don't do very well.
Yeah.
You know, they're not a very good one-base team. They're like hope you get on by an error and then maybe somebody runs into a home run to get a couple runs. So they're actually playing real baseball right now, which is what the Brewers usually do to them. And Chase Burns is dealing. So you never know.
We'll keep you updated.
He can only pitch 5 or 6 innings though, so those last 3 innings are going to be the problem for the Reds, like always.
So the Reds lead the Brewers 4-1.
Oh, they got 2 more.
5-0.
5. They got 3 more since I came down.
Yeah.
Wow.
In the
okay.
bottom of the 4th.
Sal Stewart took him deep in the first inning.
So I can't remember the last time the Reds beat the Brewers. Maybe we can go back into the
I'm not sure if I was alive.
The Pirates are also winning. The Pirates have 13 hits today against the Phillies. It's 4-1 in the top of the 8th. So I'm trying to remove myself from the Paul Skeens panic after he got toasted again last night.
Man.
But the Bucks are winning 4-1 in the top of the 8th. And for both the Reds and the Pirates, this is the 4th game of 4-game series on the road, so we'll keep you updated on that.
For the Reds, you don't expect Jose Trevino to have 3 RBI.
Yeah,
but there we
that's
are.
right. That's right. As I was, first of all, the Jaylen Brown trade.
Wow.
Huge deal. And once again, why did they wait until right after 6 o'clock to make it?
And also, man, what a way to just usher out a guy that's been on your team for 10 years and won a championship, and just to kick him out the door. I mean, pretty substantial stuff. And 2 Mountaineer connections in the trade. Really crazy.
Okay. Well, actually 3.
True.
So,
true.
I've got the Venn diagram working to try to bring in as many local ties in this story as I can possibly do. So we'll do that. The other thing I wanted to mention was, what about the United States World Cup win last night? They beat Bosnia. Here's the thing. Coop, did you ever imagine that people who are kind of ambivalent about soccer today are talking about the rules of the game and how unfair it was for the United States best player to get a red card?
I literally, somebody says something, is like, hey, that game. I was like, I know that red card. And they're like, right. And they walk off, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. I have no idea what you're talking about.
I was just wondering, what it would be like to have red cards in real life? Kind of like deal one.
I mean, I don't know. I mean,
like when Ryan gave me a shot there a minute ago, if I'd issued him a red card, so he would not be on tomorrow's show.
Or
give him tomorrow off.
Or what if you started talking about sports and I gave you a red card and you had to stop?
That's a very good example. Yeah. That's a very good example. But it is amazing, right? So these people who have just discovered soccer hours ago now know the rules of the game to the point that they feel like they can officiate a game better than the referees that FIFA have put on the biggest tournament.
Did somebody
every
kick the
4
ball
years.
too hard or something? What happened? Did somebody run too fast? I'm not sure.
It was a tackle. Supposedly a tackle with intent. Is a red card.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
And the GIF that I saw of the replay, which is the amount of soccer that I watched on this, was the 3-second GIF. It didn't look intentional. Yeah. So I get what people are mad about.
But you know what? That's one of the things about instant replay, right? If you go back and slow something down to like a couple of frames per second, it looks like an assault. Okay.
Oh, sure.
Okay. But in real life, it was just like boom, boom, it happened, and you were just like, "What? Was that a red card?" But hey, I'm in that club. Okay, I'm a fan, but I'm not telling you that I'm like a World Cup expert.
I saw an unrelated video. It was about a week ago that was a similar situation to this, and it was an international sport. It wasn't World Cup, but I believe it was a soccer game. It was a similar situation where a guy made a tackle, and the big defense was exactly the same thing that you were saying. Like if you slow it down, anything looks like, oh, that wasn't real. And then I saw somebody in the response say, well, here's the whole video. Watch the entire thing. And the player that did the tackle at the end afterwards, got up and was pointing at the guy like, I showed you. It's like, I think that might show some intent.
That was probably intent.
Not yesterday though.
All right, Ryan, I did want to ask you about this news from Sony.
Yes.
This is video game news this is video game news. So Sony has announced that beginning in January of 2028, new PlayStation games will no longer be released as physical discs. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Players will still be able to buy games at the store, but you'll receive a digital download code instead. This decision follows Rockstar's announcement that Grand Theft Auto 6 will also launch without a disc. Sony has not commented on digital ownership transfers. What's your reaction to that? Do you need discs? Do you care?
I think that discs fill a very important niche in the video game community, I guess you could call it, or ecosystem, I guess is a better word, because there are going to be people out there, whether they're in a rural part of America or in like a third world country, who don't have regular access to internet. And if they want to play video games correctly, they need the console and they need a disc. So by eliminating the disc from the equation, you basically have video games exclusive to people who have stable access to internet connections, which I don't think is the best move. I think that it's going to shrink your audience. Maybe not by a lot. The internet is more accessible than ever before, but still it's going to shrink your audience a bit. And I think that in GTA 6's case, they are releasing a disc version just later than the digital version. It's coming out in December while the game releases in November. So a disc is on its way. So
I can add to this too, because I saw a discussion about this and I thought it was a really good point. A lot of libraries carry video games where you can rent them.
Oh, yeah.
And without physical media, you won't be able to rent video games anymore.
Yeah.
How much
So-
can that possibly save Sony? Right? I mean, all they have to do is just like spit out these discs. How expensive can it be? We're talking like pennies, right?
Right.
You remember pennies?
if they thought a little bit ahead and there would be such a following for the physical media, they could do something that was a like a manufacturer on demand thing. Like if you could request physical media or you bought one at the store and then you redeemed it. Like they could do something where you print on demand basically for it. And maybe get them that way. I don't really know what the answer for that is, but this seems like we're already in an era where we own nothing anymore. Like we can't buy a single game, a single piece of software. We can't own anything without like paying for it continuously as we own it. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous how far this is going, where we can't own a single piece of entertainment out there. Not a piece of music, unless not a movie, not a video game. All of it is for rent, and it could be taken from you at a blink of an eye. I think Amazon Prime just took something like 250 movies that people may have previously purchased. No, PlayStation, not Amazon Prime.
Right.
PlayStation took 250 movies out of their library that people may have previously purchased that they no longer own now. They purchased that movie, supposedly, and now they don't have it anymore. This is exactly what happened to me in my entire music library that I uploaded to Google, telling me, no, you can keep it forever. Yeah, it's like a third of the size that it was because of all these different things. We don't own anything anymore. It's ridiculous.
All right, let me ask you a question, because you're my tech expert on this. Say, for example, if you buy this digital download of one of these Sony games in January of 2028, do you have the ability to burn that to a disc? Say you're going away
Not to play, I don't think.
yeah, I think that's technically piracy.
Oh, well, that's true.
Yeah, you could probably crack
And
it.
Sony knows a lot about that, right?
You
I
could
mean,
probably crack it and get an installer and find a way to do it, but you would no longer get support or anything for it.
Yeah, you can't connect if it's connected to if it's a multiplayer game and it connects to an online server, you're going to get banned like instantly.
Hey,
So-
Stephanie, I got a question for you. On the Dave Allen show in the middle of the day, did you guys talk about Giant Eagle and Kroger? Oh, there she is. Did you guys talk about Kroger taking over Giant Eagle?
Nope. We did not.
You did not. Okay.
One of our two favorite topics.
Yeah, the Kroger segment of the program.
Well, no.
this week.
Okay.
Lego and Kroger.
Well, here's
Which
the.
I did visit the new Kroger yesterday.
There you go.
Yes.
Well, don't say.
Very nice.
Ryan's had enough. He's had enough of the Kroger talk. But just the one point about Giant Eagle. There are Giant Eagle stores in West Virginia, but I'm not sure how many there really are. I know there's like 2 in Morgantown. There's 1 in Fairmont. I know there's 1 in Marietta, but that doesn't really count unless you want to drive over the bridge from West Virginia and check it out. Jeff looks like he might have a little bit of information on this. Jeff, how many? I thought there were like a half a dozen Giant Eagles in West Virginia. There's only 2.
Morgantown.
So the Fairmont one is closed?
Yeah, just 2.
Okay.
Yeah, just 2.
You ever been to Giant Eagle?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So have I.
Yes.
So have I. I mean, when I was growing up, I was totally unaware of Giant Eagle, but we used to watch Pittsburgh television, so I would see the ads constantly.
Yeah.
Actually, I think this is probably pretty good news for Morgantown residents, because is it fair to say that Kroger's superior to Giant Eagle?
Well, the Giant Eagle I went to up there was a good Giant Eagle.
Yeah. Coop, did I step into a possible legal issue with that? Well, that was just an opinion, right? That was just an opinion that Kroger's better than Giant Eagle.
But is it
love me like you love Kroger is all I'm asking. Love me like you love Kroger.
Yeah, Dave.
That hasn't stopped Dave yet. He had the president of the company on the ropes yesterday.
Pummel him, work the body, and then come in with a headshot. What do we got in the news? What's going on today?
At WVU
What
Metro,
isn't going on?
Well, yeah, a lot going on. At the website, Dave, this is a tragic reminder about fireworks.
Oh.
Okay, so there was a fire in Barber County late last night, in the community of Junior at a mobile home. 4 people were killed in that fire, all adults, a 61-year-old man and then a man in his 20s and 2 women in their 20s. State Fire Marshal's office in the last hours released information. They say evidence shows that they were letting off fireworks last night, consumer fireworks, legal fireworks. And had wrapped that up, had picked up the debris and put it in a garbage bag. And then there was garbage in that bag, and they had left it on the front porch. Well, those leftover fireworks ignited the garbage and started the fire, and right at the front door. So they had the place where you would try to get out, they couldn't. And so we've updated our story. We had the story about the 4 deaths this morning. We just didn't have, the investigation hadn't taken place yet. So we've got that story. You can see it at WVMetroNews.com.
Jeff, thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate that. That's a terrible story. And just, be careful with your fireworks this weekend. Absolutely. Let's take a break. We're coming back with more in just a moment.
Stay ahead of West Virginia weather with Metro News Television. Now bringing you a new way to stay informed across the Mountain State. Get updates daily at 9, noon, and 4. From headlines and precipitation to severe weather threats and highs and lows. See conditions from panhandle to panhandle and check travel with the Fly CRW forecast. Our meteorologists are on your screens and on Talkline, Midday, Hotline, and Sportsline, keeping you up to date. Metro News Television weather. Accurate, local, and always on.
For couples that are experiencing infertility, about half will have the male factor in the diagnosis. At the WVU Medicine Center for Reproductive Medicine, we offer a wide array of treatment options for male factor infertility. There's really no reason you would need to go anywhere else. If we can identify and treat male factor infertility, we can prevent couples from even having to go down the road of IVF, saving you potentially money and time. We're here to help build a family. We have the capabilities and we care.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
For over 20 years, Dan Cava Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Our commitment doesn't stop when you drive off the lot. With factory-trained technicians and a service team you can trust, we're here to keep your vehicle running at its best for years to come. So when it's time to get your next vehicle, choose the dealership that's been serving the community for generations. Visit Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration. You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
All right, we'll take a break here for local news at the bottom of the hour. When we come back, Germain Lussier from Gizmodo.com is going to join us. We'll talk about TV, movies, and more. Stay there. I mean, where would you go, frankly? This is Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Greer Industries, improving people's lives for more than a century.
Meteorologist Joe Hansel here. Continue to take those proper precautions with the heat wave that'll be ongoing this week. Some daily records may be possible for highs and overnight lows here and there. Regardless, continue to plan for the increasing heat risks this week. Areas, heat advisories, lots of extreme heat warnings. Time and the heat index values may vary here and there, but generally in Charleston, it's out until 10 o'clock Friday night yet for a peak heat index up to 106. And we are stacking up to an extreme heat risk in the purple there for some areas of the state. Regardless, take those necessary precautions with some well above average heat and humidity that's going on. We have a high 94, low at 71 yesterday in Charleston. Flies through your forecast. It starts at home. Washington, D.C., potentially 3 consecutive days with triple-digit highs, not accounting for the heat index. Some records potentially in there for multiple areas from Appalachia, Carolinas, Mid-Atlantic, and Northeast through the holiday weekend. From Panhandle to Panhandle, extreme heat warnings continue. Highs in the 90s, higher heat index values. Eastern Panhandle, extreme heat warning. Some highs, just the high temperatures. Up to 103 is listed here. Again, locally today, we may see a temperature record up in Elkins, 94. That would be a daily record high for you today. And to the west, heat advisories to extreme heat warnings continue. 97 in Huntington with the higher heat index value as well. And with this heat wave, again, there's little to no relief with the lows overnight in the 70s. 100 for a high tomorrow, potentially in Charleston, 95 Morgantown. Couple of isolated thunderstorms may develop Friday afternoon, mostly near the higher terrain. Again, that's pretty localized for storm coverage. As this heat dome breaks down, that will open the door for some chances of showers and storms. It could become strong or severe. I'll keep eyes on chances of storms 4th of July, high of 98 degrees.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
On the next State of Minds.
We cook West Virginian food is how we like to phrase it.
I knew that every time I would hear a story, and I would hear the same story, but it never got old, about what this meant to the family and how it was served and how special it was to be put on the table.
When you hired me, you were 29. You seemed like you were 50 when you were 29. You were running that thing like a 50-year-old man. All right, we got to go get some tape. Come on, get out of there.
I think I've sort of always been 50, and I think I'm 50 now.
Yeah, me too.
That's a great point. Join Tony Carini, Brad Howe, and Hoppy Kercheval for Three Guys Before the Game. Metro News Television. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at WVMetroNewsTV.com.
All right, welcome back to the show. 26 minutes till the hour. We were so busy in the crosstalk segment. You know, Coop, I know we're into something good in the crosstalk segment when I check our text messages, and there's already a bunch. Usually good and bad.
And that means we've tapped into the pulse of the absolute nothingness that people really love about the beginning of this program. Yes.
About the program. Yeah. And you know, this is also something to remind our viewers, you don't want to get here late. You know,
yeah, because you miss all the in-jokes.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
You know, this thing goes to 11, right at the beginning, okay, with the crosstalk.
And it's kind of where we establish the in-jokes of the day. That is very true.
There you go. Question of the day. The Charleston Sternwheel Regatta officially began this morning. Tonight's musical lineup features Melissa Etheridge and Winona Judd. It all starts at 7:30 down on the river. So here's the question of the day, and it is sponsored by Salango Law. What are some of your favorite memories of previous Charleston Sternwheel Regattas? Pretty simple, right? What are some of your favorite memories from previous Sternwheel Regattas? And you can reach us in a variety of ways. Text those in, 304-TALK 304, 304-8255-304. I'm on Exit Weekly, WEEKLEY. Germain Lussier is coming up in just one sec. But, Coop, I wanted to mention this. Did you see this story about that series about John Benet Ramsey that's now going to come to light?
I didn't. I was like literally halfway through reading that when I came downstairs, so I didn't get a chance to finish it.
So there is a limited series about the 1996 murder of John Benet Ramsey that's coming to Netflix. Now, this was done by Paramount Plus, but when Skydance took it over, too controversial. Okay, so they kind of kicked it to the curb. And Melissa McCarthy and Clive Owen are going to play Patsy and John Ramsey.
Wow.
It will be coming to Netflix this winter. Coop, have I ever told you my story about Patsy Ramsey? I've only got like 10 stories, and I just rotate them.
No.
Okay. So when I was at WVU, I was a Phi Psi pledge for a few weeks. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking I'm a frat boy, right? I'm a typical frat guy.
Yeah,
right?
you know.
Well, anyway, I wasn't there very long. But while
this is like that lifeguard thing. I can't imagine you as a frat boy.
Well, I didn't last long, okay? I didn't last long. But, you know, when they were making us do all kinds of things, one night on a weekend, on a Sunday night, they sent myself and another guy, another pledge. We drove to Parkersburg to pick up Patsy Ramsey. Patsy Ramsey was the queen of the DGs, okay? She was the leader of the pack. They used to run around in, like, long brown leather coats. And so we went to Parkersburg, and we went to her home, and she rode in the back seat, and we drove her back to Morgantown to go to school in time for her classes on Monday.
It's a little alarming to me. You have 0 degrees of separation between you and one of the most famous kidnapping/murder cases in the U.S.
And that's my story.
Where were you when
where was I? Where was I? But that's my Patsy Ramsey story.
Wow, that is a small world story, man. That's pretty
small,
crazy.
Right?
Yeah,
pretty small world. Well, let's get Germain Lussier on the air and see. Could I write a script about that, Germain? What do you think?
Well, it depends on what happened in the car ride, you know. But if you guys left her in the woods or something, maybe. Yeah.
All I can remember about it, looking back on it, was I thought it was a bad deal at the time that I had to spend all that time doing it because it was about, I don't know, maybe 100-minute drive to Parkersburg to pick her up, but she was very attractive.
And look at this,
very attractive.
Like
and
65
very nice.
years later, you get to share the story on the radio.
There you
That's
go.
cool.
There you go. Germain, I enjoyed your photos from the World Cup.
Thank you.
Which games did you attend?
I was at Iran, New Zealand, Iran, Belgium, and Canada, South Africa. Basically, all the cheap ones in LA. And by cheap, I mean triple what I paid to do anything else in my life.
By the way, Chef Paul Smith, who comes on the show every Monday to talk about food at 4 o'clock, is going to join us in about an hour because he was at the England game yesterday when they rallied to win over Congo 2-1. So he was experiencing that game. So we're going to just check in with him in about an hour. Let's talk a little bit about Siren Head, Germain. I really don't know too much about it. What's it all about?
I don't know too much about it either, but, you know, after Backrooms came out, it made $80 million in its opening weekend. Everyone was like, Hollywood's going to learn the wrong lesson here. It's not about story or building an audience. It's let's find the next viral YouTube show. And so that's been happening. That's one of the first dominoes to fall is Siren Head, which is something I didn't know existed until yesterday. But I watched it, and it's a I guess it was like a drawing of like a big, tall kaiju type like creepypasta, I guess you'd call it, with a siren for a head that became very popular online. And Warner Brothers bought the rights for like, 8 figures, and got Zach Krieger, who did Weapons, and Brian Duffield, who did the new movie Whale Fall, to work on it. And then so they're hoping it's the next Backrooms. And then just now, we haven't even written it up yet, Steven Spielberg's company bought something called, hold on, I'm going to tell you, the Mandela Catalog, which is another apparently YouTube viral thing that I know nothing about, but it got purchased by Amblin and Amazon. And so, yeah, this is the new thing. They're just going on YouTube, seeing what has hundreds of millions of views, and spending millions of dollars to buy the rights.
All right, Ryan, I brought you back because I
Yes.
wanted to get your take on Siren Head. You knew about it.
Yes, Siren Head is in the timeline of internet horror. It comes it came out after Slender Man, but before the Backrooms, and we all know how the Slender Man situation happened. That was terrible, and the movie was not good either. So it's, I think the choice of director is very good, but it's some of these like internet horror stuff, it just is like, oh, I made this like creepy image and posted it on a forum, gave it a mysterious backstory, and then send it off into the ether of the internet for people to consume, you know?
Germain, I've got this note from a write-up on this that says, Gen Z has now become Hollywood's most reliable theatrical audience, attending cinema more frequently than millennials and far surpassing Gen X and baby boomers in ticket buying habits. So obviously the big studios are cluing in on this, and they're finding out that this could be a very lucrative space.
Yeah, but they have to. The movie's got to work, right? And you can't. And not everything, is Backrooms or is Siren Man, I guess. And so, but yeah, the people are younger. Gen Z is showing up. They're showing up and they're sitting there on their phones and not watching the movie, and it's great. But they did pay for a ticket, so that's all that matters.
There you go. And you've also got an exclusive that you posted today at Gizmodo.com. This is interesting about Toy Story 5 is getting an in-theater director's commentary this weekend. How is that going to work?
Yeah, there's this app called Theater Ears, and it's basically used mostly for like descriptive audio for people who have seeing disabilities. But they kind of were like, hey, you know what? We can figure this out, and so they sort of this year slowly started to figure out having directors record commentaries, and then you go into the theater, you put in your pod or whatever, and the app hears the movie and it syncs up, and you hear the directors do the movie through your headphones as you watch it. They did it with Project Hail Mary, they did it with The Mandalorian Grogu, and then starting tomorrow, actually, you can go see Toy Story 5, download the app, and listen to Andrew Stanton talk about it. I would say watch the movie first. So don't do it the first time you see the movie. But if you go back a second time, if your kids want to see it and you want a different experience, you could do that.
But wouldn't this be, Coop, weigh in on this, wouldn't this be great for like the Odyssey? I mean, if you went to see the Odyssey in the theater and you thought that you wanted to hear Christopher Nolan talk about the movie, you would go back a second time and see that. I think that would actually get me to the theater for that.
Yeah, I think that depending on the movie and the presentation of it, but I think that's a good example of one that you may be interested in. Ryan and I were just talking about some of David Eggers' director commentary on some of the movies that he's done. So he has that werewolf movie that's coming up. Something like that you could probably see going for it for the experience the first time and then getting the director's opinion the second time. Not a bad idea.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. So, Germain, do you know what the price point is on this?
I don't think there is one. I think it's just an app that you download. I think it's a free app. I don't know for sure, though. I mean, I'm sure the app's got some ads, or maybe you got to sign up for the app or something so they get your email. But I don't think there's a price point on it. I mean, outside of the cost of a movie ticket.
Oh, that's pretty interesting. You've got a note this week about Sharknado. Man, I thought we were done with Sharknado. Apparently not.
Well, I think we are done with Sharknado. But I mean, is Sharknado ever really done? But like, I think what I wrote about today was just really stupid. The guy who directed 6 Sharknado movies has a new movie coming out called Water Park Shark. And that's it seems kind of hard to say even, but it's about killer sharks who invade a water park. And I was just like, as someone who has enjoyed water parks and theme parks over the years, I thought that was a very stupid but very funny idea. And the trailer's out and it looks terrible, but in the best possible way. Yeah.
Well, there you go. My thought was, we're going to do a Sharknado that's a comedy. And my response to that would be, aren't they all really comedies? You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they're never serious. This honestly looks more serious than those. Yeah, who knows? We'll see.
And speaking of, I just briefly referenced the Odyssey. There's a new Odyssey trailer. What do we see in it?
It really trying to focuses more on the not Odysseus stuff, what's happening back in Ithaca of Robert Pattinson trying to steal the throne and get with Anne Hathaway and Tom Holland, and it's almost here. It's almost here. 2 weeks from, I guess, today. Really, it'll be in theaters, and I'm very excited. I don't get to see it until the week of, but I get to see it a couple days early, and I take it to see it a couple times after that, hopefully. It is starting. It is coming.
Hey, finally, that's an interesting topic. So take me through the hoops you have to jump through and what you can do once you see a movie like Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey early.
Oh, well, it depends. The Odyssey is actually pretty straightforward. We're seeing it on the Monday. It doesn't come out. It comes out on Thursday. So the review is up. Review embargo is up on Wednesday. It's, there's been many other times where that cadence is very different. Like I saw Disclosure Day a month and a half before it came out, and then they let me post about it online like 2 weeks later, and it still was like a month. It's different for every single movie, but this one's pretty simple. I'll see it on the 13th, review on the 15th. It's out in the evening on the 16th.
All right. So say you would run afoul of the rules. What would happen? What would Christopher Nolan's gang do to you if you ran afoul of the rules?
Sure. I mean, I would not get invited to any more films or interviews for that studio. And then other studios would probably take notice and be like, oh, Germain, you posted about that before you were supposed to. And, Universal's mad, but we're Disney, and we also don't think that was very respectful. It could be a bad domino effect all the way down.
All right. Hey, got to leave it there. Germain, thanks for jumping on with us today. Enjoy the 4th of July weekend, and we'll talk again soon.
You too. Happy 4th.
All right. Germain Lussier from Gizmodo.com. He's got a lot of good stuff at the website, Gizmodo.com this week. Let's take a break. We'll come back and get into the sound of sports next.
Ready to make this boating season unforgettable? Head to Lou Wendell Marine Sales, family owned and operated for over 40 years and West Virginia's largest Avalon pontoon dealer. Lou and his sons are boating experts from sales to service to repairs. And right now, their lot is packed with incredible inventory and some of the best deals of the season. Whether it's weekends on the lake or sunset cruises with the family, Lou Wendell Marine Sales has your perfect boat waiting, because they don't just sell boats, they sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com today. Ready to make this boating season unforgettable? Head to Lou Wendell Marine Sales, family owned and operated for over 40 years and West Virginia's largest Avalon pontoon dealer. Lou and his sons are boating experts from sales to service to repairs. And right now, their lot is packed with incredible inventory and some of the best deals of the season. Whether it's weekends on the lake or sunset cruises with the family, Lou Wendell Marine Sales has your perfect boat waiting, because they don't just sell boats, they sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com today.
Hi, I'm Dylan Jumper, a project consultant at Civil and Environmental Consultants. I'm someone who craves challenges and meaningful connections. At CEC, I found both solving complex problems and delivering quality solutions is what drives me. It's not just about completing tasks, it's about building trust and making a lasting impact. In the Martinsburg office, we anticipate, communicate, and act swiftly to keep projects on track. At CEC, we engineer progress in the great state of West Virginia.
Find out what CEC can do for you. Visit cecinc.com.
Metro News Hotline, brought to you by Salango Law, will return right after these messages.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
On the next State of Minds.
We cook West Virginian food is how we like to phrase it.
I knew that every time I would hear a story, and I would hear the same story, but it never got old, about what this meant to the family and how it was served and how special it was to be put on the table.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
For couples that are experiencing infertility, about half will have the male factor in the diagnosis. At the WVU Medicine Center for Reproductive Medicine, we offer a wide array of treatment options for male factor infertility. There's really no reason you would need to go anywhere else. If we can identify and treat male factor infertility, we can prevent couples from even having to go down the road of IVF, saving you potentially money and time. We're here to help build a family. We have the capabilities and we care.
For over 20 years, Dan Cava Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Our commitment doesn't stop when you drive off the lot. With factory-trained technicians and a service team you can trust, we're here to keep your vehicle running at its best for years to come. So when it's time to get your next vehicle, choose the dealership that's been serving the community for generations. Visit Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world!
All right, welcome back to the show. Major League Baseball Pirates win. Game's over in Philadelphia. Bucks win over the Phillies. Split that 4-game series. Final score today, 6-1. All right, time for the Sound of Sports, and let's start with the World Cup. Last night in Santa Clara, the United States beat Bosnia 2-0 to advance to the round of 16, and a date with Belgium on Monday in Seattle. We'll pick it up scoreless late in the first half when, after a turnover, Flo Balogun finds the back of the net.
So would go long. Team Ream, only man there, able to steer it to Adams, flicks it along Tillman. He's got Balogun making a run off him. Can he get around to that ball? To the deflection, Balogun scores! Flo Balogun, first to react to the deflection. He'll do the LeBron celebration.
That was Balogun's third goal of the World Cup, but he was sent off with a red card for an aggressive tackle early in the second half, forcing the United States to play a man short for the remaining 38 minutes of the game. He will miss Monday's game with Belgium. After the game, here's U.S. defender Chris Richard on the win.
I think it shows how strong the team is. I think we went down a man and nobody really stressed out. It was unlucky from Flo, but it is what it is. So we got on with it, and I think it was very important that we kept a clean sheet. And then I think the cherry on top was Malik's free kick. So overall, it wasn't a perfect day by any means, but it was it was our day.
Second American goal came on a perfectly executed free kick by Malik Tillman in the 82nd minute. Some are calling that kick one of the greatest U.S. goals in its World Cup history. In any case, that free kick was a looping laser to the left corner of the net.
Now we've been going through all the ways you can possibly take this free kick. I mean, we talked about going under the wall, we talked about going keeper's side, we talked about going over the wall. And now I know some guys doubted me to go over the wall, but I practiced this in training, and I'm happy it went in.
It went in. A quick note on that kick, by the way. Tillman changed cleats before he took it. He had to swap out a bloody sock after he'd been stepped on earlier in the game. Whatever works, right? In any case, Seattle is going to be a madhouse on Monday for the United States and Belgium with a slot in the World Cup quarterfinals riding on the outcome. Baseball now. From the Atlantic League, the Dirty Birds were 5-2 losers at High Point last night. That series continues with Game 3 tonight. The Pirates have won. They beat the Phillies this afternoon 6-1, and in the top of the 7th inning, the Reds are leading the Brewers, believe it or not, 6-2. We're keeping our eyes on that game. Last night in Atlanta, the Braves snap out of their current funk, at least for one night. They beat the Cardinals 5-1. Ozzie Albies scored, drove in 2 runs. His solo home run to right in the 3rd inning snapped a 1-all tie.
Albies has the RBI for Atlanta. That was a double off the top of the wall. Almost got 2 RBIs.
Ozzie hits it high and deep toward the chop house, and that's where she lands. 13th home run of the season for Ozzie Albies as he flies it towards the chop house, and the Braves take a 2-1 lead.
He was not taking any chances of it hitting the wall this time. St. Louis take.
So the win was just the 5th in 18 games for the NL East leading Braves. The Cards will send Dusty May out there tonight, who missed his last start. At Wrigley, Dansby Swanson is white hot at the moment. 3 home runs, including a grand slam in 23-3 pounding of the Padres yesterday afternoon.
Another chance for Dansby Swanson to have his first career 3-homer game. Fly ball, left field, Sheets, and the one who did it! Yes! And a grand slam to cap it off.
Swanson has 9 home runs and 29 RBIs in his last 13 games. That's it for the Sound of Sports. A quick break, and we're coming right back.
Metro News Hotline, presented by Salango Law, will return right after these messages.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
On the next State of Minds.
We cook West Virginian food is how we like to phrase it.
I knew that every time I would hear a story, and I would hear the same story, but it never got old, about what this meant to the family and how it was served and how special it was to be put on the table.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
For couples that are experiencing infertility, about half will have the male factor in the diagnosis. At the WVU Medicine Center for Reproductive Medicine, we offer a wide array of treatment options for male factor infertility. There's really no reason you would need to go anywhere else. If we can identify and treat male factor infertility, we can prevent couples from even having to go down the road of IVF, saving you potentially money and time. We're here to help build a family. We have the capabilities and we care.
For over 20 years, Dan Cava Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Our commitment doesn't stop when you drive off the lot. With factory-trained technicians and a service team you can trust, we're here to keep your vehicle running at its best for years to come. So when it's time to get your next vehicle, choose the dealership that's been serving the community for generations. Visit Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the road.
Prevention.
All right, that's going to do it for the first hour of the show. We'll take a break. News is next. The Dow's on track for a record close. We will give you all the details on that. Reset our question of the day about your regatta memories. And, Adam Harris is going to be here to talk about Mountain Stage and wrestling this weekend. This is Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell family fun.
I'm meteorologist Brandon Weathers. We continue to have heat advisories in the orange and heat warnings in the pink through Friday, with the exception of the mountains. But even there, our heat risk will still be moderate to major for our Friday. Meanwhile, purple's extreme heat risks, what we've been experiencing, will continue in many of those same areas Friday. By Saturday, also another day with heat index values surpassing 105 for some. By Sunday, seeing improvements start to become a bit more widespread, but still a hot day. We have severe weather building into the region late Friday, and then Saturday also a marginal to looking east, a slight risk for some severe weather. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, each day, the rain that we have on the way could involve some heavier downpours. But for now, still dealing with some quiet conditions. They'll stay clear overnight, and for much of the day Friday, it would be later on in the overnight hours that we see storms starting to build back into the region. FlySair forecast, it starts at home. A lot of heat to be found out there, with Charlotte triple-digit territory each day through Sunday. DC as well. Wherever you're traveling this 4th of July weekend, make sure that you're practicing that heat safety. Panhandle forecast, lows staying from Morgantown 74 to Moundsville 77 tonight with clear skies. 95 to 97 here Friday. Charlestown 76 is as cold as it'll get in the overnight hours. Then around 101 for our Friday. Elkins 69. We'll have some areas of fog set up towards Sutton and Clay. Still seeing 91 for Elkins. Snowshoe 87. Marlinton 68 tonight, but 91 on Friday with 98 for Charleston. So we have a lot of heat still ahead of us, especially Friday, spilling over 4th of July weekend, gradually finding highs in the 80s next week.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
This is Metro News Hotline, presented by Salango Law. Metro News Hotline is a 3-hour audio tour, navigating the world of sports, news, entertainment, tech, and more from a Mountain State point of view. Hotline is a no politics zone. You can join the conversation. Text the show at 304-825-5304. 304-TALK-304. Here's the host for Metro News Hotline, Dave Weekley.
All right, welcome back to the show. Hour number 2, how do you do? Metro News Hotline, keeping you company in the afternoon here in West Virginia, every weekday afternoon on the Metro News Radio Network. Oh, yeah. We get started every day at 3:06 and take you right through until the bitter end, right up until 6 o'clock. Oh, man, we got a busy hour. We got a busy hour for you. We got a couple of busy hours ahead. We'll take a look at what happened in the financial markets today. Did the Dow hit a new all-time high? I'll let you know here in a second. We're also going to have a reset of our question of the day about your favorite memories of the Charleston Sternwheel Regatta. I've got mine, but I want to know yours. We'll be talking about that. Oh, and look who came in. Coming in hot, coming to the stage. Adam Harris, talking not just about Mountain Stage, but about a busy local wrestling weekend. How you doing, Adam?
Yeah, it's a busy wrestling. I call it the hot wrestling summer.
There you go.
I think I have 6 shows in July.
No kidding.
Yeah, and,
wow.
and they're all outdoors. 2 nights at the Putnam County Fair, B-Dubs, and of course this Saturday. More
on that in just a minute. So we'll talk to Adam in a sec. We will have our entertainment report coming your way at about 4:25. 4:33 this afternoon. You know what? Chef Paul Smith comes on our show every Monday at 4 o'clock to talk about food. But I had to bring him in for an emergency segment at 4:33 today to talk about his experience yesterday. He was in Atlanta, flew into Atlanta specifically for the World Cup game yesterday between the Congo and England, and it looked pretty dire for the Three Lions for a while, but England did rally late and won the game 2-1. So I just want to touch base with him about what was that experience like? What was the crowd like? The tension as the game got into the second half, and it looked like maybe England was going to lose to Congo. So we're going to get into that. That'll be at 4:33. And, Paul played high school soccer. He played college soccer, too, at Virginia Tech. maybe he's got some thoughts on the United States win last night over Bosnia. So we'll do that at 4:33. Later in the hour, we'll open up the On This Date file. 5 things to know at 5 o'clock in sports at the top of the hour. Pirates have already won today. Reds are leading Milwaukee. We'll give you an update on that at 5 o'clock as well. In that 5 o'clock hour today, Amy Smith on the financial markets, Kevin Kinder at 5:33, and sandwiched between those two items, we will play in or out. That'll be at 5:25. All right, let's start with what happened in the financial markets today. In the markets, the Dow set a new all-time high, up 1.1%, gained 594 points, closing at 52,900 on the nose. S&P 500, absolutely flat. Absolutely flat, up less than 1 point, closing at 74.83. NASDAQ was down 0.8%, losing 207 points today, 25,832 on the tech-heavy NASDAQ. And stocks related to West Virginia that were big percentage gainers or losers today. Oh, what about sleepy old AEP? American Electric Power was actually up 2.3%, gained $3.07, 138.12 at the close today. Caterpillar down 3.2%, lost $32 and change, finished the day at $959.18. Let me give you one more here. FMC was up 4%, gained 44 cents, 11.39 at the close. In the energy space today, oil relatively flat, down a dime. WTI on the NYMEX closed at $68.48. Natural gas at the moment, relatively flat, down just 1 penny, $3.21 per unit. And in the crypto space, Bitcoin up 2.3% today, kind of a good rebound, up a little more than $1,300, 61,436 at the moment. Here's our question of the day. Question of the day, the 2026 Charleston Sternwheel Regatta officially began this morning. Tonight's musical lineup features Melissa Etheridge and Wynonna Judd. The question of the day is sponsored by Salango Law. What are some of your favorite memories of previous Charleston Sternwheel Regattas? And we got a lot of really interesting takes on this. You can jump in there too. The text line here is 304-TALK 304, 304-8255-304. I'm on Exit Weekly, WEEKLEY. One word, 3 E's, WEEKLEY. And we may go live down to the Riverside a little bit later on in the hour. But right now, let's focus on Adam Harris.
All right. Speaking of regatta.
Well, okay, why don't we do the regatta wrestling stuff first?
Okay,
All
cool.
right, so let's talk about, here we go again, with Sternwheel Slamboree.
Yeah.
Okay, when does it start?
This is our 4th year. It's 4 p.m. on Saturday down at Haddad Riverfront Park. And, yeah, it's going to be a hot one, but it's also July, and we already know that. So we've started our hydration plans early, and we're going to withstand the heat and present some of the finest pro wrestling action down at Haddad Riverfront Park this Saturday at 4 p.m. And that's actually when the canopy provides the most shade for the audience down there.
Now, this is a free event.
Free event. Oh, yeah.
Free event.
Free pro wrestling.
All right, so how many bouts you got?
7 matches, including we have an RPW title, Regatta Pro Wrestling. We have our RPW champion, Troy Parker, is going to be there. Our main event is going to be a special Regatta 3-way street fight between Chance Prophet, who's the current Boone County champion and a legend in the business. He's been in the wrestling industry over 25 years. But he's the current champion, facing the 2 most recent champions, Noah Ray, and from Charleston, West Virginia, Bishop Baylor, who was our regatta champion for over 300 days earlier. And Troy Parker is about to wrap up his first entire year as the Regatta Pro Champion, and he's going to be in action defending against Tyler Jordan, which is interesting because Jordan wrestles only occasionally in the West Virginia, but he's already got his eyes on the Regatta Pro title, and so he's coming across state lines to challenge Troy Parker for the belt.
Nice. Okay, so you'll be on the mic.
Yeah, ring announcing.
You'll be on the mic. This is hard to say. It sounds like a little bit of a misnomer. What are the rules in a 3-man street fight?
Oh, basically there are no rules. Yeah,
Exactly.
Basically. Yeah, in your traditional match, there's a 10 count. If you go outside the ring, the referee needs to enforce that 10 count. He needs to enforce if there's an object brought in that shouldn't be in the ring, or if someone tries to interfere, the referee's there to disqualify somebody. But in a street fight, anything goes, anyone can get involved, and it doesn't matter who loses in a 3-way situation, but the championship can change hands.
You know what's funny about this? I remember when the time goes by so fast. The very first Sternwheel Slamboree, right?
Yeah.
You're thinking, is this going to work?
That was 4 years ago.
Is this going to work?
Yeah.
And now it's like we can't have the regatta without it.
Yeah, thankfully.
Right?
Thanks to the mayor and her team, specifically Matt Sutton, who's a big wrestling fan, and I think he's the one who told the mayor they should trust me and let me kind of get the best of the West Virginia regional scene together. And I do work with all 4 of the promotions that are involved in this occasion. And they've all put in their own efforts to help make it happen and let me kind of lead it through the city's means. And there's a lot of people that work very hard to make the regatta happen, and I'm just one of them. You know, I've been doing chin-ups, I've been doing pull-ups, I've been doing sit-ups. I might even throw up sometime, but I'm going to be in the best shape of my life because the ring announcer has to be a part of every match.
That's right. Oh, that's right. That's right. So this is Saturday at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, that's right.
Saturday at 4 o'clock. So for people who are coming into town for the musical acts that night,
come early.
Come on down early and check out the Sternwheel Slamboree. That will be Saturday at 4 o'clock. How long does it take you to set up the ring for that?
Well, grab this. Our opening contest is technically the 4th of July hot dog eating contest because that's going to happen at 11 a.m. So as soon as that's done, which we hope is going to be between 1 and 2 p.m., we're going to set the ring up right there, right up until showtime. It will take us less than 2 hours if everything goes well. And it can go up pretty quickly if everybody knows what they're doing. And thankfully, we have a good team. And avoiding any catastrophes, we should be able to get it set up in no time, and we're going to be ready for the 4 p.m. bell time.
By the way, Coop, tomorrow we'll be talking about the hot dog eating contest. I mean, it's July 4th. It's kind of a...
It's so America around here.
Yeah. I mean, last year it was embroiled in scandal. It looked like it might go away because Joey Chestnut was trying to break off and do his own thing, but they're inseparable. They have to be together.
Yeah, we've had multiple contestants on our air before, but so we will be talking about the what's going on at Coney Island. That'll be this weekend because the 4th of July falls on the weekend.
Yeah,
so that's a little.
We've always been on Saturday, but they have had the hot dog eating contest, on various days depending on when the 4th is. Well, this year the 4th is also Saturday, so they're cramming them both into the same day down there.
I want to get to Mountain Stage in a sec, but you've got one other local wrestling thing that's happening tonight.
Yeah, after this, I'm taking off. Shout out to my friends at Appalachian Championship Wrestling, and they're one of the reasons I'm so busy this summer because they're the ones who present the B-Dub shows. They do 2 shows a month in the summer in Beckley and here in Cross Lanes. And so after this, I'm headed to Cross Lanes. Most of your listeners in that area are probably already aware if they're a wrestling fan at all, but we're going to have some matches there tonight. And it's a warm-up. I'm getting my temperature, seasoned for this weekend ahead of that. And as I mentioned earlier, I think we have 6 outdoor shows this year, including 2 at the Putnam County Fair, which is always a blast. And then ASW, who typically runs down in Madison and also puts on the Bash in Beckley, we're going to do a show July 18th at Waterways.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, big time.
Is that a first?
We actually did a Waterways show during the pandemic. And so the pool itself wasn't open, and it was down on one of the soccer fields.
Wow.
So I'm not exactly sure what we're going to do this time, but it's going to be exciting.
I didn't remember that. All right, let's talk about Mountain Stage. What do you got going, Adam?
So our next live show is coming up August the 2nd here in Charleston, and I'm really excited about this. We talked about the Jayhawks a lot with Larry and in past weeks on the show, and they've got a brand new album coming out in their 4th decade as a band and still relevant today as they were in 1985. And then also Tiff Merritt, who is one of my favorite singers. She's one of those that's just so hard to describe, and she's such a beautiful singer, and I can only really compare her to some of the beautiful names like Joan Baez and Emmylou Harris, but she's got a great songwriting style all her own, and she's somebody that Mountain Stage kind of adopted in the early days of her career. She's been off for, I think, a decade or more. Hasn't put out a new album, that is. Now she's come back to the music business with new perspective and a new daughter and a whole new look on life. And she's actually one of the elder statesmen of the female Americana folks movement.
We got a little bit of music here. Let's hear Tiff Merritt, Look What Love Just Did.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah, that's a really, really good song.
Really good. I love it. I love her album. I love everything about Tift. And
how you doing on ticket sales?
Pretty good for the number of shows that we have on sale. We have 3 in August and 2 in September, all in Charleston. And so lots of opportunities for live music. I hope folks will visit mountainstage.org. There's something for everybody up there. And it's more important now to support live music than ever before.
Let's take a couple of minutes and talk about this show that's going to be on August the 9th and Red Camel Collective.
Yeah, this one's going to be a little more bluegrass leaning, although this show, Dave, actually features Anera George, which is Lowell George's daughter. We'll be talking about her as we get a little closer.
Wow.
So it's not all bluegrass. She's actually doing some cool like Broadway-style musical stuff. But on that show, we have the Po Ramblin' Boys, which is one of the more award-winning and more renowned hard touring bands of the bluegrass scene. They're going to headline the show, but they're also them and the Red Camel Collective, who we're going to listen to, are playing the Pickin' and Parsons Festival that same weekend, and that's where I picked up on these. Full disclosure, I saw both these bands. I was just going through the Pickin' and Parsons schedule. I knew we'd worked with Po Ramblin' Boys before, and I hadn't heard of Red Camel Collective. Reached out to both bands, and they were willing to make the trip down to do a mountain stage. And so, a show comes together.
All right. Let's hear a little bit of music.
Yeah, this is a young bluegrass band.
This is Red Camel Collective.
I can't imagine not liking this.
Yeah, it's really great. Red Camel Collective.
Yeah, and I guess red camels, Dave, was a form of overalls back in the day.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I looked that up. Yeah, that was something I didn't know either. But
wow.
That's how where the name came from.
So you've got a couple of shows looking into the future. You're going to be in Boone, North Carolina on October the 16th and Manassas, Virginia on October the 18th. Now that's Kathy Mattea is going to do that show.
We're going to good. Yes, we're doing really good. Kathy's going to be hosting all of August. David Mayfield's going to host our September shows here in town, and then Kathy's going to hit the road with us October 16th and 18th. It's going to be a little mountain stage road trip. Our first time in Boone, North Carolina. If you know friends from down there, it's going to be at Appalachian State University. I know there's a lot of connections through that to that area as well. And then we're going to head up 2 days later to Manassas, Virginia, which was great for us 2 years ago when we did that. It's closer to the Panhandle. A lot more listeners that are familiar with mountain stage can make it over there. More that can make it, some that can make it way easier there than to Charleston.
So let me ask you, so the first time in Boone, that will be on October the 16th. How does something like that come together? Does it have to do with the local radio affiliate, or what? How's that work? How's that happen?
It often does start with the radio affiliate or someone that's affiliated with the radio station. But in this case, it was something that was brought up through Kathy Mattea's agent, who's been helping us in a lot of ways with this. She's the one who brought us on board with the Manassas. Kathy's agent's been in the business as long or longer than Kathy has, and has worked up a lot of great relationships over the years. And she's really done a great job of picking and helping push to the agents that she knows will be familiar with it. She's like, well, you've had a great time with Kathy before. Well, she's hosting this NPR show now. You could bring that in. And so far, it's been great for us. It's great to be going back to Manassas. And there's already been an instance, Dave, where she booked us in Boston, and that promoter has left and has gone to another state that we're talking about taking the show there now, because he had a great experience when they brought Mountain Stage in.
So when you do a show in Boone, are you trying to find artists that are local to Boone?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yep. And of course, there's so much talent throughout North Carolina, but I want to look into that. We are looking into that region specifically, and we've got a couple genuinely good connections. And then also, I think we're going to have Missy Raines, who's a West Virginia girl herself.
Nice.
We're going to have her and her band on over there, which they don't get to play in Boone that often. So I'm hoping that's going to be a treat for those people down there.
Adam, I always love it when you come in. I mean, you're such a unique guest.
We covered a lot of ground.
Where we talk about music and wrestling in the same segment.
Yeah.
I love that.
Well, and I want to say I hope that we're going to make a few good new regatta memories this Saturday. You know,
There you go.
It's a new event. There's people alive now that aren't as familiar with the regatta as the older Charlestonians are, but we're building new wrestling fans every time. And so I hope to see some people Saturday at 4.
Sternwheel Jamboree.
Slamboree.
Excuse
there we
me.
go.
That will be at Haddad Riverfront Park Saturday at 4 o'clock. Fingers crossed for the weather, man.
Man, it's going to be hot, but it's going to be a hot time.
Adam Harris, thank you. Let's take a break. We'll come back with the entertainment report in just a moment.
Don't forget about our podcast. Check out your favorite podcast provider or simply go to WVMetroNews.com and click on the podcast link. This is Hotline, presented by Salango Law on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
For couples that are experiencing infertility, about half will have the male factor in the diagnosis. At the WVU Medicine Center for Reproductive Medicine, we offer a wide array of treatment options for male factor infertility. There's really no reason you would need to go anywhere else. If we can identify and treat male factor infertility, we can prevent couples from even having to go down the road of IVF, saving you potentially money and time. We're here to help build a family. We have the capabilities and we care.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer golf coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
For over 20 years, Dan Cava Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Our commitment doesn't stop when you drive off the lot. With factory-trained technicians and a service team you can trust, we're here to keep your vehicle running at its best for years to come. So when it's time to get your next vehicle, choose the dealership that's been serving the community for generations. Visit Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
If it matters in West Virginia, it's being talked about here.
I always said I was going to move to a mountain in Tucker County, but probably going to put a data center on it, so I got to find a new plan.
Join Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows for Talk Line on Metro News Television. Sports Line on Metro News Television.
I was sitting with a guy last night, and he said, all right, I'm going to go put $1,000 on it. Well, down the stretch of that ball game, he's looking at us like, are you kidding me? Sure enough, the Mountaineers came back. I saw him today. He said, yep, I'm putting another $1,000 on them tomorrow.
Pablo Picasso, you know when he died? He died in 1973. Did you know that? I thought he died in 1380. I almost 1973. Picasso had a car. Is that unbelievable? Pablo Picasso was driving around Spain in like a Honda Civic listening to Black Sabbath on the radio. Ozzy Osbourne and Pablo Picasso were working at the same time. He saw 6 Super Bowls. I I thought he lived next to a blacksmith. The guy's like at home watching the Green Bay Packers and the Kansas City Chiefs on a colored television set, drinking Mountain Dew.
So true. So true. Almost halfway home on this Thursday edition of the show. Thanks so much for tuning in, by the way. Time for Talkin' TV and more. Here are the latest entertainment headlines from ABC.
ABC Entertainment News.
As Taylor Swift heads into what allegedly will be her wedding weekend, she's got another milestone to celebrate. 20 years ago, July 1st, 2006, she made her Billboard chart debut with her very first single, Tim McGraw. This is real, this is me, this is Camp Rock 3. The third installment of the popular Disney Channel franchise drops August 13th. The first single, One Beat Away, is out now. Disney is the parent company of ABC News.
I'm a what? Gasped Harry. A wizard, of course, said Hagrid.
Need to brush up on your Harry Potter lore before HBO's new series debuts in December? The entire Harry Potter audiobook series has arrived on Spotify Premium, the first time all 7 books have been available on streaming. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
All right, we'll take a break for local news right now. This is Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
This is Hotline, presented by Salango Law on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell family fun.
I'm meteorologist Brandon Weathers. We continue to have heat advisories in the orange and heat warnings in the pink through Friday, with the exception of the mountains. But even there, our heat risk will still be moderate to major for our Friday. Meanwhile, purple's extreme heat risks, what we've been experiencing, will continue in many of those same areas Friday. By Saturday, also another day with heat index values surpassing 105 for some. By Sunday, seeing improvements start to become a bit more widespread, but still a hot day. We have severe weather building into the region late Friday, and then Saturday also a marginal to looking east, a slight risk for some severe weather. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, each day, the rain that we have on the way could involve some heavier downpours. But for now, still dealing with some quiet conditions. They'll stay clear overnight, and for much of the day Friday, it would be later on in the overnight hours that we see storms starting to build back into the region. 5CRW forecast, it starts at home. A lot of heat to be found out there, with Charlotte triple-digit territory each day through Sunday. DC as well. Wherever you're traveling this 4th of July weekend, make sure that you're practicing that heat safety. Panhandle forecast, lows staying from Morgantown 74 to Moundsville 77 tonight with clear skies. 95 to 97 here Friday. Charlestown 76 is as cold as it'll get in the overnight hours. Then around 101 for our Friday. Elkins 69. We'll have some areas of fog set up towards Sutton and Clay. Still seeing 91 for Elkins. Snowshoe 87. Marlinton 68 tonight, but 91 on Friday with 98 for Charleston. So we have a lot of heat still ahead of us, especially Friday, spilling over 4th of July weekend, gradually finding highs in the 80s next week.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
On the next State of Minds.
We cook West Virginian food is how we like to phrase it.
I knew that every time I would hear a story, and I would hear the same story, but it never got old, about what this meant to the family and how it was served and how special it was to be put on the table.
When you hired me, you were 29.
You seemed like you were 50 when you were 29. You were running that thing like a 50-year-old man. All right, we got to go get some tape. Come on, get out of there.
I think I've sort of always been 50, and I think I'm 50 now.
Yeah, me too.
That's a great point.
Join Tony Carini, Brad Howe, and Hoppy Kercheval for Three Guys Before the Game. Metro News Television. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at WVMetroNewsTV.com.
All right, welcome back to the show. 26 minutes till the hour. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. At the World Cup, Spain, one of the favorites to win the whole thing, leads Austria 2-0. That game is in the 72nd minute. We're going to talk to Chef Paul Smith here in just a moment about his experience at the England game yesterday in Atlanta, where they rallied to beat Congo 2-1. But before we do that, you know what? I want to head out and get the story on what's really going on with the big Ferris wheel down on the Capitol. That's where we find our Rob Reel from Up Real Early, 96.1 Superstar Country. Rob, thanks for coming on. What's the Ferris wheel like?
I tell you what, it is, the question I've gotten the most, because I got to ride this morning with the governor as part of the big unveiling, and it is way, way sturdier. Everybody's like, but they just put that thing up. Is it really? It is rock solid, and the views are just magnificent. I'd kind of like to be up there after dark when the Liberty and Light show gets going on the Capitol Dome. Ride on the wheel, inflatables for the kids. There's tours of the Capitol. There's going to be concerts the next 3 nights. Country Music Hall of Famers, Alabama tomorrow, the West Virginia Symphony Orchestra on Saturday, the Marshall Tucker Band, Classic Rockers on Sunday. And all of that stuff is absolutely positively free at the Capitol Complex this weekend.
So it's burning hot. It's the hottest day of the year out there now. What's the scene like there now? Are there people getting into into that Ferris wheel?
So the gates for tonight officially open at 5. There have been some folks trickling in. They're doing the test spins right now, the get her warmed up spins. But there are already a few people, like state workers who already had access to the complex, are kind of lining up so that they can be ready to go at 5 o'clock. So I don't want to call this preview night because everything is up and rolling. If you're looking for places to park, the state parking garage, Laidley Field, there is a shuttle, not only that will bring you here, but there's even a shuttle that will take you to Regatta if you want to do that and then come back and forth.
Nice.
It's all pretty well planned out that you could do all the things.
So what time were you on the Ferris wheel, and what's the view like at the top?
I was up there probably about 10:30 this morning, and it's so good that you could see the Jaeger Bridge at Kanawha City from the top of the wheel, even with that heat haze that we had this morning. And the Capitol just looks fantastic today.
All right, got to leave it there. Rob, thanks for joining us. I appreciate your input on what's going on the Capitol Complex with the big Ferris wheel that everybody's talking about.
Thanks, fellas. Hope to see you soon.
All right, Rob Reel from Up Real Early, 96.1 Superstar Country. All right, let's talk to Chef Paul. Chef Paul Smith, normally we talk about food and food prep, but today we're just talking about his experience yesterday seeing England win in the World Cup. You were in Atlanta for the game against the Congo. Paul, thanks for coming on the show just for a sec. I appreciate it.
Thanks, fellas. It was absolutely amazing. Atlanta really did a fantastic job with everything from the MARTA, their public transit, getting people in and out of the game. The fan zones were great. Arthur Blank, the owner of the Falcons, kept the prices of everything in the stadium low. So we had $2 hot dogs. My buddies had a couple, $6, $7 beers. It wasn't, but it was electric. I mean, we were in the English section. One of my prep cooks from Paulie's is actually from the Congo. So that was super cool. It was an amazing game, amazing experience. I'll be talking about it for literally the rest of my life. It was a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
So the start time of these games has been staggering, and the staggered times. And so the game with the Three Lions against Congo yesterday went at noon. What time did you get into the arena, and what was the traffic situation like?
So that's the cool thing, and my friend from high school who lives down there has gone to a couple of other games. We went into the stadium at 10 o'clock.
Okay.
So it's different when you go into, a soccer match versus a professional sporting event, football, basketball. I mean, there's chanting, and I mean, there was a build-up. The crowds were just getting into it. The English crowd obviously was the majority of the fan base, but they have. I got a soccer jersey for my prep cook, so I got a Congo soccer jersey.
Nice.
It was amazing. The energy, the intelligence of the crowd. The one left forward for England wasn't playing the best, and that crowd was like, take him out of the game. And then he came out of the game, and then that's when they, kind of kicked it into gear. Like, they know soccer. Like, and then I talked to a couple of English fans. We went to the fan zone afterwards, which was amazing. It was, obviously it's hot, but, all of them are so just soccer intelligent that they knew what was going on. They know, I mean, it's a way of life there. You play football, European football from the time you can barely walk, and then, on your breaks at work, you're playing football. On the breaks at school, you're playing football. It's a religion. We have a lot more here in the States that compete with it with our other sports, but just to be a part of it, it was absolutely amazing. I would recommend it to everyone if you have a chance to go. It doesn't matter what the cost is. It's worth it.
So a couple more minutes with Chef Paul Smith. He was in Atlanta yesterday for the England win over Congo 2-1. You mentioned that you bought a Congo jersey. Were the merch lines long?
Oh, long. We actually found one because we were on the upper level in the Mercedes Dome. We found one line. We were like, wait a minute, is this for real? There's only 20 people in line. The other ones were like, put it this way, the bracelets that are the World Cup bracelets outside in the fan zone, there were, no lie, 2,000 people in line just to get a free bracelet.
Wow.
From the, I guess it's Bank of America bracelet or whatever. But it wasn't cheap. But, again, it was worth it. They had, I got a popcorn in a cool little plastic World Cup popcorn container that I brought home and had to get that through security.
Hey, well, let me ask you this also. What about the tension in the arena? Congo had the lead at the half, and Harry Kane didn't get his first header to tie the game until the 75th minute before he hit that rocket that was the margin of victory. What was the tension like as we got later into the second half and it looked like England might actually lose this game?
You could feel, the tension was as, thick enough to cut with a knife. I mean, you think about the storied program that is England. And then, a lot of the African teams, I think there's 9 or 10 African teams still in it, or were, they were really, really good. And their but everybody was very respectful. It wasn't like people were angry at each other when they would walk by. I mean, it was just a spectacle, and in sportsmanship and also just in fanship. I mean, it was awesome. The whole arena was electric, and I gotta say this, Country Roads.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they played it. I literally took a video of it. They played it after the game, and, we were sitting with, again, in an English section, and I was like, I'm from West Virginia, and they just went ballistic. It was awesome.
Well, how about Country Roads last night after the United States won its game in Santa Clara? I mean, Fox basically stayed with it until they stayed with it for the entire song.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, too, is you don't just leave after the game. You know, the team came out and cheered the crowd and showed their appreciation. And, like, you know, we stayed for an hour after the game in the stadium. Nobody left. It was like everybody was just hanging out and having a blast and, you know, chanting. And, you know, I learned a couple of English chants and a couple of Congo chants.
Nice.
It was super cool.
Nice. Hey, Paul, I really appreciate you jumping on with for a couple of minutes with me today. I'm glad you enjoyed the game, and I'll talk to you on Monday.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. Have a great 4th.
There you go. Chef Paul Smith at the game in Atlanta yesterday. England still alive. You know, we've talked about this. This World Cup has just worked out perfectly so far for the teams for the nations that are hosting it in North America and for Fox Television. All of the big brands have moved along, with the exception of maybe Germany. We'll see what happens the rest of the day. But that England win yesterday, that is just going to be a crazy scene in Mexico City when they take on Mexico on Sunday night. Our question of the day. The Charleston Sternwheel Regatta is firing up today, began this morning. Tonight's musical lineup downtown features Melissa Etheridge. That'll be at 7:30, followed by Winona Judd. Here's the question of the day, and it's sponsored by Salango Law. What are some of your favorite memories of previous Charleston Sternwheel Regattas? What are some of your favorite memories of regattas of the past? And we've got a lot of interesting takes on that. You can jump in on that. 304-TALK 304, 304-8255-304. I'm on X at Weekly, WEEKLEY, one word, 3 E's, WEEKLEY. Some of these messages that have come in on X. Here's one from Matthew. He says, Dave, my parents with several other couples parked a car besides the Union Building and would meet there to party all week. The beer was flying. Let's see. Here is Bananas for WV on X. Dave, the Rubber Ducky Derby and the Wiener Dog races. Sorry, I put Chili Cook-Off earlier, but that was actually Pomeroy, Ohio. Living on the river, you get a lot of festivals. Yeah, that's true. Akara weighed in on this. Favorite events, the parade, the hot air balloons, anything that floats race. You know what? That is pretty cool. The Taste of Charleston, the laser show in the 80s before a concert act would take the stage. Favorite concerts, the Beach Boys, Ronnie Millsap, Alabama, Cheap Trick, Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, hashtag 180 Club. Yeah, there's a lot of great memories. Here's the thing that's crazy. That Beach Boys show is 40 years old. 1986.
Yeah, man.
That is crazy to think about that.
I mean, I remember going to the show. I was definitely at the Beach Boys show. But, man, 40 years ago.
40 years ago. Let me tell you this one about that show in 86. I was still at 8 then, and I was putting together, because remember in the old days, the regatta was over Labor Day weekend. And I was putting together a last-minute, 30-minute special on WVU football. And so I was up against it, man. I had to get this thing in on a certain time because I think it ran on a Saturday night in prime time on Channel 8. And so I told my wife, I said, why don't you go home to your mom this weekend? Because I'm going to be working all night. And so I worked for a while. I sent her off to Jane Lou, and then I went to the Beach Boys show.
You know, it's crazy for me.
Then went right to the station and worked all night.
Yeah, of course. The craziest thing about that show to me is I know I was there. I know my friends that I went with. Like I can. Well, one of them's dead, but I mean those that are surviving. I can mention, hey, remember when we went to go see the Beach Boys? Everybody's going to remember. So I know that I went. It's not a false memory that I went, but I have a Mandela memory of them performing Kokomo, which didn't come out for 2 more years. So that didn't happen. But I have a Mandela memory that I was like on the boulevard watching the Beach Boys perform Kokomo, but that did not happen.
I don't remember the performance so much as just the size of the crowd.
Yeah.
I think that may be the biggest crowd. If somebody out there can maybe correct me on that. But I think that 86 Beach Boys concert may have been the biggest crowd. And a lot of people think that may have been the peak moment of the old regatta that was on Labor Day weekend.
That was huge.
Let's take a break, and we'll come back and get into the On This Date file next.
Metro News Hotline, presented by Salango Law, will return right after these messages.
1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
For couples that are experiencing infertility, about half will have the male factor in the diagnosis. At the WVU Medicine Center for Reproductive Medicine, we offer a wide array of treatment options for male factor infertility. There's really no reason you would need to go anywhere else. If we can identify and treat male factor infertility, we can prevent couples from even having to go down the road of IVF, saving you potentially money and time. We're here to help build a family. We have the capabilities and we care.
For over 20 years, Dan Cava Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Our commitment doesn't stop when you drive off the lot. With factory-trained technicians and a service team you can trust, we're here to keep your vehicle running at its best for years to come. So when it's time to get your next vehicle, choose the dealership that's been serving the community for generations. Visit Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world!
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
For your daily fix of sports in West Virginia, there's only one stop. Sportsline on Metro News Television. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at WVMetroNewsTV.com. Join Kyle Wiggs, Coach Hunter, and Brett Howe weeknights for Sportsline on Metro News Television.
All right, welcome back to the show. Time to get into the On This Date file. We'll start with the birthdays, and as always, we'll start with the sports birthdays. Pretty good ones today. How about Jose Canseco, one of the Bash brothers? 62 years old today, 1988 American League MVP. The mayor, Sean Casey, Pittsburgh native, played with the Reds, played with the Pirates, 52 years old. Troy Brown. Man, what a great player he was at Marshall. Won a bunch of Super Bowl rings with the New England Patriots. Troy Brown, 55 years old today. And NASCAR, the king, Richard Petty, having a birthday today. Richard Petty is 89 years old. 7 NASCAR championships. 7 times he won the Daytona 500. Let's go back to the first 500 the king won in 1964.
The crowd cheers as Richard Petty in his number 43 Plymouth takes the checkered flag going away. Richard Petty rolls into the winner's circle as his father did 5 years ago. The jubilant Petty crew runs to greet him. This is their victory, too. They who have worked so long and so hard for the big one. This has been a great show for Plymouth, who ran 1, 2, 3. Pardue was second and Goldsmith third. Miss Firebird presents the victory flag.
Ooh,
and
nice.
for the Petties, Lee and Richard, there's nothing like checkered flags to make happy time. Besides the trophies, Richard Petty earned $33,300 in 3 hours, 14 minutes, and 23 seconds. As Lee said, it's a big accomplishment to beat the best. And this 500-mile race will long be remembered as not only the richest ever run at Daytona, but the fastest ever run anywhere, anytime.
There you go, Richard Petty, 89 years old. From celebrity birthdays today, Lindsay Lohan is 40, Larry David, 79, Margot Robbie, 36, Bret the Hitman Hart, 69 years old today. On this date in sports 2013, Homer Bailey throws a no-hitter against the Giants.
Oh, what a celebration on the field.
Homer Bailey joins Johnny Vandermeer and Jim Maloney as the only 3 Reds in franchise history to throw more than 1 no-hitter. Each of them threw a pair. Homer Bailey throws his second on this July the 2nd, 2013 in a 3-0 win over the San Francisco Giants.
Also from entertainment on this date, 1955, The Lawrence Welk Show premieres on ABC.
And here is your host, Lawrence Welk.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, my good friends, and a pleasant hello. It's indeed a pleasure to be with you, and we'd like to express our thanks to the Dodge Dealers of America for giving us this opportunity to play for you. We're very happy about it, so may we say it with music. 1, 2, 3.
And our musical birthday to the break today, Roy Bittan, the keyboardist in the Bruce Springsteen E Street Band, is 77. The 5 things to know at 5 o'clock in sports are coming up next.
This is Hotline, presented by Salango Law on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
For couples that are experiencing infertility, about half will have the male factor in the diagnosis. At the WVU Medicine Center for Reproductive Medicine, we offer a wide array of treatment options for male factor infertility. There's really no reason you would need to go anywhere else. If we can identify and treat male factor infertility, we can prevent couples from even having to go down the road of IVF, saving you potentially money and time. We're here to help build a family. We have the capabilities and we care.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
For over 20 years, Dan Cava Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Our commitment doesn't stop when you drive off the lot. With factory-trained technicians and a service team you can trust, we're here to keep your vehicle running at its best for years to come. So when it's time to get your next vehicle, choose the dealership that's been serving the community for generations. Visit Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
1914, The same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
If it matters in West Virginia, it's being talked about here.
I always said I was going to move to a mountain in Tucker County, but probably going to put a data center on it, so I got to find a new plan.
Join Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows for Talkline on Metro News Television. Sportsline on Metro News Television.
I was sitting with a guy last night, and he said, all right, I'm going to go put $1,000 on it. Well, down the stretch of that ball game, he's looking at us like, are you kidding me? Sure enough, the Mountaineers came back. I saw him today. He said, yep, I'm putting another grand on them tomorrow.
Sports headlines at 5 o'clock. Major League Baseball. Pirates beat the Phillies in Philly 6-1, and the Reds beat Milwaukee today 7-2. Marshall announcing also non-conference basketball games this season at Ohio State and North Carolina. This is Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell family fun.
I'm meteorologist Brandon Weathers. We continue to have heat advisories in the orange and heat warnings in the pink through Friday, with the exception of the mountains. But even there, our heat risk will still be moderate to major for our Friday. Meanwhile, purple's extreme heat risks, what we've been experiencing, will continue in many of those same areas Friday. By Saturday, also another day with heat index values surpassing 105 for some. By Sunday, seeing improvements start to become a bit more widespread, but still a hot day. We have severe weather building into the region late Friday, and then Saturday also a marginal to looking east, a slight risk for some severe weather. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, each day, the rain that we have on the way could involve some heavier downpours. But for now, still dealing with some quiet conditions. They'll stay clear overnight, and for much of the day Friday, it would be later on in the overnight hours that we see storms starting to build back into the region. FlyCRW forecast, it starts at home. A lot of heat to be found out there with Charlotte, triple-digit territory each day through Sunday. DC as well. Wherever you're traveling this 4th of July weekend, make sure that you're practicing that heat safety. Panhandle forecast, lows staying from Morgantown 74 to Moundsville 77 tonight with clear skies. 95 to 97 here Friday. Charlestown 76 is as cold as it'll get in the overnight hours. Then around 101 for our Friday. Elkins 69. We'll have some areas of fog set up towards Sutton and Clay. Still seeing 91 for Elkins. Snowshoe 87. Marlinton 68 tonight, but 91 on Friday with 98 for Charleston. So we have a lot of heat still ahead of us, especially Friday, spilling over 4th of July weekend, gradually finding highs in the 80s next week.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
This is Metro News Hotline, presented by Salango Law. Metro News Hotline is a 3-hour audio tour navigating the world of sports, news, entertainment, tech, and more from a Mountain State point of view. Hotline is a no politics zone. You can join the conversation. Text the show at 304-825-5304. 304-TALK-304. Here's the host for Metro News Hotline, Dave Weekley.
All right, welcome back to the show. It is 5:06 in West Virginia. Oh, it's a hot one out there. Hot one out there. Last time I checked, the temperature around 92 degrees here in Charleston. The heat index pushing up north of 100. So take it easy out there. You know, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but just be aware. I mean, that heat's a real thing. We are coming to you from our flagship 580 WCHS here in Charleston, where what a busy weekend. You've got stuff going on at the Capitol. This is the first day of the Sternwheel Regatta. We've got shows, fireworks. It's going to be quite the weekend. So if you're heading downtown, and if you're heading downtown to see Melissa Etheridge and Winona Judd, you might not want to waste too much time. The show's going to start at 7:30 tonight. That's when Etheridge is supposed to hit the stage and judge shortly after that. And that is the focus of our question of the day. We're going to get to that in just a minute. Also, just a quick reminder, you may be on your way home after work, and maybe you're starting your 4th of July weekend right now. If so, congratulations. Also, Coop, this is one of those weekends, and today maybe especially, that we have lots of unique listeners. People who are flowing their way through the state, either coming or going or heading to other states. So if this is your first time with our program, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
You know what? I've already found myself, I've done 3 times this week now. Since Wednesday. So in the last 2 days where I've been outside either in front of the office or once or twice I'll walk down the block just to see what the crowds were like and what was going on and things like that. Me frantically signaling at cars going down the wrong way so
no
they don't
kidding.
cause an accident. Yeah. I witnessed a T-bone out here at Virginia Street and Leo Sullivan Way a couple of weeks ago, and now I'm a little adamant about when I see somebody going the wrong way. I'm like, you guys have got to stop, man. You got to figure out like how to read these signs, whatever the deal is here, because it's getting a little bit too common. I mean, I saw it every day this week at some point in time.
Wow.
And luckily, a lot of the roads are closed down. So, I mean, not all the traffic is as busy as it could be. But if you go the wrong way and you're not paying attention, you're going to cause some serious problems.
Man, that is such a great point. We love our visitors. Welcome to town. Come on in, enjoy our restaurants, enjoy the fireworks shows, the things that are surrounding the regatta, obviously the concerts. But just be aware of the street laws.
Generally, it's a grid and it alternates.
Exactly.
And if the lights aren't facing you, that means you're going the wrong direction.
That's right. So just be aware of that. The other thing is, if you are just turned on the show and you're unaware of this, we get going at 3:06. So you can always double back and check out the podcast of the show. It's available at the website. Well, it's available everywhere, but here's what I do. I just go to the website, WVMetroNews.com. Our podcast lives there. All the other shows on the network, and there's a bunch. They're available in podcast form, WVMetroNews.com. When you get there, just go to the top of the page, hit the podcast link, and you're off to the races. And for those of you who are watching on YouTube and Facebook Live and the Metro News TV app, a very good afternoon video-wise to you folks. We got a lot of stuff to get into in this particular hour. We'll reset our question of the day here in just a moment. It is Thursday at the top of the 5 o'clock hour. You know, we give you the stock report every day at 4 o'clock, literally minutes after the market closes. We give you the indices, West Virginia-related stocks, energy prices, the crypto. We've added that lately. But Thursday at 5, we like to just carve out a couple of minutes for you to take advantage of Amy Smith. She spent 15 years at Investors Business Daily. She knows her way around the stock market. She's been one of our contributors for years. You get the benefit of her knowledge about the markets and individual stocks. Just send me a text on what you'd like Amy to address, any individual stocks or any comments about the general market that you might have. 304-TALK 304, 304-8255-304. We can take them too on X at Weekly, WEEKLEY, one word, 3 E's, WEEKLEY. We do this just once a week where we carve out about 10 minutes, and that's what's coming up in just a couple of minutes. Also, a little bit later on in the half hour, we'll play In or Out. You know, we talked so much about WVU Sports yesterday with the news that Mountaineer Sports are coming back to the West Virginia Radio Corporation, many of the stations beginning with football this fall. We really haven't talked too much about WVU today. We'll get into more of that stuff at the bottom of the hour. Kevin Kinder, BlueGoldNews.com. You know, it's kind of the calm before the storm. Next week, in the middle of the week, is the Big 12 Football Media Days in Frisco, Texas. You know, what will be the storylines for the Big 12 Media Day? What will be the storyline around the West Virginia Mountaineers? We'll talk to Kevin about that. That'll be coming up in about 20 minutes or so. All right, question of the day. The Charleston Sternwheel Regatta officially began this morning. Tonight's musical lineup, pretty good, featuring Melissa Etheridge and Winona Judd. Here's the question of the day, and it's sponsored by Salango Law. What are some of your favorite memories of previous Charleston Sternwheel Regattas? What are some of your favorite memories of previous regattas? You know the text line. I just gave them to you. We've got a lot of response to this question, as you might imagine. We've talked about stuff we've gotten on X. We'll get into some of the text messages later. Let's see. Here's one. Andy Smith. The smell of spilled beer while listening shoulder to shoulder to Miami Sound Machine. That's a pretty good memory. That is good stuff. Yeah, we have a lot. Cara said, Dave, by the way, you were correct. The largest concert in the history of the Sternwheel Regatta took place in 1986. Estimated 200,000 people on the boulevard to see the Beach Boys. That was some kind of night. If you can remember that. All right, let's get Amy Smith into the conversation. Amy joins me from L.A., where she's out there in Los Angeles now, but she grew up in West Virginia, grew up in the Elkins area, and she is, after all, the shining pride of Randolph County and a frequent contributor to the show. Amy, how you doing today?
Hey, Dave, I'm doing great, and before I forget, happy 4th of July weekend to you and to all the listeners.
Oh, that's very nice. Hey, you know what? The market was up again today, setting a new high on the Dow, 52,900. Amy, this is like 3 weeks in a row we're on a little bit of a roll here. What's your take on the market?
We are. Well, we had a little bit of a divided market. We did have the NASDAQ that was down just a bit, but we have those the semiconductor stocks reversed from their earlier gains. It's a rotation out of some of the chip sector that's been red hot for the last couple of months. And so that was good news. We also got the June employment situation, which showed softer payroll pressures, and that should temper concerns about a rate hike from the Fed. So all that was kind of good news that came into the market.
Yeah, I want to ask you a little bit about that. So, we the general market trend seemed to be pretty good today. The big tech stocks though were kind of mixed. Meta was down about 30 points today. Conversely, Apple was up about 5%. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just, again, the fact that, they take a look at Meta, and again, it's all getting into their spending and, how they're going to monetize the spending. It all boils down to that. So I think even within the Mag 7, you are seeing a difference there. Now, Apple, even though they've raised their prices, has not hurt the stock at all. I mean, it's showing some positivity here.
Yeah, I want to say, I'm taking a quick look at Apple. Apple was up over $14 today. It closed north of $308. I mean, throughout this bull market, we've just been in a situation where even with the tech stocks that have market caps in the trillions, every time there's been a dip, the move has been to buy them. And it looks like we're experiencing that in Apple right now.
It does. And I'll tell you what, Dave, as of, let me look in here, since we talked the last time, there was tremendous volume that started in here into Apple on, let me see which day. So it's on the 26th. So, 27th. So, we got some good money coming in here to Apple. I could see the big volume spikes. And that just shows that you're right. The institutions have gone back into it. We had high volume today when the stock was up, Dave.
Well, I want to ask you, what's your take on Tesla here? It's been a very difficult stock to read, huh? I mean, it's almost as if we're buying or selling the stock on Elon Musk. He's the value of the stock, right? I mean, because the numbers of cars that Tesla reported that they delivered was way above expectations, despite the fact the stock was down 7.5 points today, or 7.5% today. Oh, no, wait a minute, I've got that wrong. It was down 31% today, down 7. Oh, let me just start over here. Tesla finished the day at $393 a share, down 7.5%.
Right. And you're right about it. It exceeded Wall Street expectations. So you had, more deliveries than, they thought. We had 480,000. They were expecting 451,000. I think, some of this is right. They're trying to recover from several annual declines in vehicle sales. Part of that was consumer backlash against Musk. And part of it, Dave, we have a loss of U.S. federal tax credit, so that's affecting sales a little bit too. But, yeah, this is one of those cases where they beat, and that happens, and the stock sold off.
And talking about electric cars and hybrid cars, there's been a lot of talk about BYD. And BYD stock was up 3.6% today. And, it looks like Elon Musk has got a real competitor in that space with BYD from China.
Yeah, that's the other thing. The Chinese are producing some of these stocks, and that's one of them. You're right. I'm trying to look at that chart right now. And there is more competition. I think also, I'm not sure, I think the EV sales have kind of leveled out. There was this big surge in the beginning. And I think that, I don't know that there's as much demand as there was right at the start.
Let me ask you also, what's your take on oil prices here? I mean, it looks like for the moment that they've stabilized as we continue to see the slower sales of gasoline. I mean, when you get gas up to about $4 a gallon, people stop buying it. But now that gasoline prices are starting to back off a little bit, people are buying more gas and the price is going down.
Yeah, that's the case. So that's definitely not a play. You don't want to go into the oil stocks. I mean, Chevron was, was up just a little tiny bit today, but all of any stocks in that particular sector, I think I would stay away from.
Yeah, I'm looking at Exxon. Exxon closed today up about a point, but it's come back from about 170 to 137.
Yeah, exactly. I think what's happening, this is the beginning of a new quarter, Dave. It's a shortened week because of the holidays, so the stock market is not open tomorrow. But I think you're going to see next week. Let's see what happens. We've had this rotation. All of the money managers have got their books on they've got them settled for the first quarter. Since we're in the beginning of a new quarter, let's see if there's any areas that we get movement into.
Memory stocks have just been absolutely burning hot all year long, and they've been taking a little bit of a step back here. Like I say, the moment that you sell Micron, it's going to turn around the next day and go right back up. But I did want to ask you about Corning. Corning, the symbol is GLW. Today, it was down almost $24, losing almost 11%. But this has been a big winner this year as well. What's the chart tell you about Corning?
Yeah, you know what, Dave? This one was looking strong. We headed up into this one, and then the last three trading sessions, this one has sold off hard. It's sold off on great big volume, meaning there's a lot of institutional selling that's come into this. It's just flashing weakness. Some of it, like I just said, you have the end of the quarter, and sometimes you get the selling pressure that comes into it. They're locking some profits in. But this one I would avoid. It's showing a lot of technical weakness right now. All
right, got to leave it there. Hey, Amy, great to have you on the show, and enjoy the 4th of July weekend, and we'll talk again next week.
Okay, you take care, Dave. We'll see you next week.
All right, Amy Smith, talking about the financial markets. Let's take a quick break. We will play in or out in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Julie Wilkins, a designer at Civil and Environmental Consultants. CEC was my first choice when I wanted to return to West Virginia to work and be closer to family. As a designer using AutoCAD and ArcGIS, I collaborate across all departments on diverse projects. CEC is employee-owned with over 30 offices nationwide and 3 right here in West Virginia. We provide top-notch engineering solutions. At CEC, we engineer progress in the great state of West Virginia.
Find out what CEC can do for you. Visit cecinc.com.
This boating season, elevate your family time with Lou Wendell Marine Sales. Proudly family-owned for over 40 years, Lou and his sons are West Virginia's largest Avalon pontoon dealer. Trusted experts in premium boats, motors, and service. Discover refined comfort, elegant design, and performance you can feel. Now is the perfect time to take advantage of preseason savings. At Lou Wendell Marine Sales, they don't just sell boats. They sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com because the weekend's almost here.
You can call us at 800-765-8255. Text us at 304-825-5304. Or tweet at WEEKLEY. This is Hotline, presented by Salango Law on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
For over 20 years, Dan Cava Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Our commitment doesn't stop when you drive off the lot. With factory-trained technicians and a service team you can trust, we're here to keep your vehicle running at its best for years to come. So when it's time to get your next vehicle, choose the dealership that's been serving the community for generations. Visit Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
For couples that are experiencing infertility, about half will have the male factor in the diagnosis. At the WVU Medicine Center for Reproductive Medicine, we offer a wide array of treatment options for male factor infertility. There's really no reason you would need to go anywhere else. If we can identify and treat male factor infertility, we can prevent couples from even having to go down the road of IVF, saving you potentially money and time. We're here to help build a family. We have the capabilities and we care.
On the next State of Minds.
We cook West Virginian food is how we like to phrase it.
I knew that every time I would hear a story, and I would hear the same story, but it never got old, about what this meant to the family and how it was served and how special it was to be put on the table.
All right, welcome back to the show. It is 5:24. Kevin Kinder, BlueGoldNews.com on the Mountaineers and more. That'll be coming up in about 10 minutes. But it is time now to play In or Out. Every day at this time, we focus on the stuff you talk about at the office. We call it In or Out. The setup is simple. 3 categories: food or beverage, gut reaction. Finally, this one's about a celebrity, the topics of which change daily. Let's get started with food or beverage. Coop, are you ready to go?
Yeah.
Because it was on this date that Dave Thomas was born.
Where's
Dave
the beef?
Thomas. So Dave Thomas, the businessman, the philanthropist, the fast food tycoon, the founder of Wendy's. He was born in Atlantic City on this date in 1932. He died at the age of 69 on January 8th, 2002. Let's just make it simple. Wendy's. In or out?
Man, how time has changed. Now, as always, when we talk about fast food restaurants in general, I can only go with what's near me.
Okay.
It's not like when I go out of town, it's not like I seek out fast food, so I can't really speak objectively necessarily, but I can say this. When we first started doing this show, and for many, many years, Wendy's was always my go-to. At some point post-COVID, I can't go there anymore. I never get an accurate order. It's always badly cooked. Like, we've had to contact ownership group before for dangerous food at my local one. I'm an old-school fan. I would love to say that I'm in, but, man, I haven't been in a couple years now. I got to be out.
Wow, that is rough. Yeah, and you're right. It's all about the Wendy's that you're close to.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, there's probably another one that's fine. I mean, honestly, but the one I'm near me, it doesn't work.
Doesn't work for you anymore. I try to get Linda to go to Wendy's. I'm still kind of a Wendy's mark.
Chili's and baked potato, man.
Yeah,
Chili and baked potato. Favorite thing about it.
Yeah, I got to be in. I'm still in on Wendy's. So Dave Thomas was born on this. Dave Thomas did a lot of work at KFC before he moved on to Wendy's. All right, now let's try gut reaction. Oh, yeah, we were just talking about Tesla. Only 5% of U.S. adults have ever ridden in a driverless car, and 71% say they would not be comfortable riding in one. Riding in a driverless car, in or out? Driving in an autonomous vehicle, in or out?
Man, it's sort of a case-by-case situation. Like, I know there's some areas that it works. Like, I don't know that I'd want to take a taxi in L.A. necessarily, but I've heard very good things about like highway trips and going on that. And that sounds pretty attractive to me, being able to like just relax on the highway a little bit. You can't take your eyes off the road. I mean, there's all kinds of caveats with it, but generally speaking, in the right situation, and eventually the technology is going to be fine, but in the right situation, even now, I'm okay with it. So yeah, I'll be in.
That's kind of the way I feel about it too. I mean, this is technology that's getting better and better. We have tons of studies that autonomous vehicles are a lot safer than cars.
Better
with
than
drivers.
than the delivery things that are on the sidewalk. Those things are a menace.
Yeah, they are terrible. Yeah, I'm in. I'm in on that. I think I'd be okay with an autonomous vehicle. Finally, this one is about a celebrity. Harry Shearer. Harry Shearer, who voices characters on The Simpsons. He's done so since 1989. He just said in a podcast that he has never seen the show. Okay?
What?
He's never seen the show. Harry Shearer has appeared in more than 800 episodes of the Simpsons. He's Mr. Burns, Ned Flanders, Principal Skinner. He was Derek Smalls in Spinal Tap. But what we're talking about here is he's done hundreds of appearances in The Simpsons and claims that he has not watched the show. Now, he's probably seen it, right?
You'd think he'd see like some. I mean, you have to evaluate your own work at some point, don't you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I'm sure he probably does in scenes where he actually cuts the audio. But for him actually sitting down at his house with a legal beverage or whatever, he's claiming he's never watched The Simpsons. And he's got a really long career, right? He spent a couple of years on Saturday Night Live too, and as I said, Spinal Tap, which he co-wrote, is a terrific movie. Harry Shearer, in or out?
Man, that's pretty incredible. Although I've heard some of these actors, like some of these Shakespearean actors that they get in to do, Agent Smith, for example. I mean, I don't think he ever watched Lord of the Rings or The Matrix. You know, it's like wasn't really his thing. He was also Optimus Prime voice. He didn't care about any of that stuff. So anyway, I'm in on Harry Shearer, and I've also never seen The Simpsons, so he and I have something in common.
All right, I'm in on Harry Shearer. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll get into the Mountaineer stuff and more. Maybe talk a little bit about the Big 12 when Kevin Kinder joins us in just a minute. This is Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell family fun.
I'm meteorologist Brandon Weathers. We continue to have heat advisories in the orange and heat warnings in the pink through Friday, with the exception of the mountains. But even there, our heat risk will still be moderate to major for our Friday. Meanwhile, purple's extreme heat risks, what we've been experiencing, will continue in many of those same areas Friday. By Saturday, also another day with heat index values surpassing 105 for some. By Sunday, seeing improvements start to become a bit more widespread, but still a hot day. We have severe weather building into the region late Friday, and then Saturday also a marginal to looking east, a slight risk for some severe weather. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, each day, the rain that we have on the way could involve some heavier downpours. But for now, still dealing with some quiet conditions. They'll stay clear overnight, and for much of the day Friday, it would be later on in the overnight hours that we see storms starting to build back into the region. FlyCRW forecast, it starts at home. A lot of heat to be found out there with Charlotte, triple-digit territory each day through Sunday. DC as well. Wherever you're traveling this 4th of July weekend, make sure that you're practicing that heat safety. Panhandle forecast, lows staying from Morgantown 74 to Moundsville 77 tonight with clear skies. 95 to 97 here Friday. Charlestown 76 is as cold as it'll get in the overnight hours. Then around 101 for our Friday. Elkins 69. We'll have some areas of fog set up towards Sutton and Clay. Still seeing 91 for Elkins. Snowshoe 87. Marlinton 68 tonight, but 91 on Friday with 98 for Charleston. So we have a lot of heat still ahead of us, especially Friday, spilling over 4th of July weekend, gradually finding highs in the 80s next week.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
On the next State of Minds.
We cook West Virginian food is how we like to phrase it.
I knew that every time I would hear a story, and I would hear the same story, but it never got old, about what this meant to the family and how it was served and how special it was to be put on the table.
When you hired me, you were 29. You seemed like you were 50 when you were 29. You were running that thing like a 50-year-old man. All right, we got to go get some tape. Come on, get out of there.
I think I've sort of always been 50, and I think I'm 50 now.
Yeah, me too.
That's
me too.
a great point. Join Tony Carini, Brad Howe, and Hoppy Kercheval for Three Guys Before the Game. Metro News Television. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at WVMetroNewsTV.com.
All right, welcome back to the show. 26 minutes till the hour. Been a busy program today, as you might expect. Opening day of what's going on at the State Capitol Complex. We got the first day of the Sternwheel Regatta downtown. Temperatures in the 90s. If you're coming into town for any of the festivities tonight, be aware of that. It's going to cool off a little, but not a lot, so just be aware of that. The Reds and the Pirates both won this afternoon. There you go. So the Pirates take 2 of 4 in Philadelphia as they begin really a gauntlet leading up to the All-Star break. And the Reds finally break through and get their first win of the year against Milwaukee. The Brew Crew have really been the nemesis of Cincinnati, not just this year, but in previous years. So the Reds get the win today. Let me do a quick reset on our question of the day. The 2026 Charleston Sternwheel Regatta. Well, it officially began this morning. Tonight's musical lineup features Melissa Etheridge and Winona Judd. Question of the day, and it's sponsored by Salango Law. What are some of your favorite memories of previous Charleston Sternwheel Regattas? What are some of your favorite memories of previous regattas? We got a lot of really good responses to that. We'll get into more of these after our next commercial break. The text line here, 304-TALK 304, 304-8255-304. I'm on Exit Weekly, WEEKLEY, one word, 3 E's, WEEKLEY. Kevin Kinder joins me now, BlueGoldNews.com, to talk about the Mountaineers and maybe a little bit about the Big 12. How you doing today, Kevin?
Doing well, Dave. I'll throw in my answer to your question of the day. Beach Boys concert always stood out to me when they came in. They just put on a really good show. It was feel good. Everybody knows a Beach Boys song or two, I feel like, at least. So that one, for whatever reason, sticks in my head a little bit.
Well, we'll grab a hold of something because Coop and I were talking about this earlier in the show. That show is 40 years old now. We're going back.
Well, thanks, Dave.
We're going back to 1986 for that one, and we had Cara send me a note about that show. That is still the record for the largest crowd, estimated crowd, right? Who really knows? Estimated
Right.
crowd. Down on the boulevard to see a show at 200,000 people. And Coop made this point. Coop, I can't remember what we talked about on the air and off the air, but you made the point that, think about that show in 1986. There were no big screens.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I was just thinking that I think most of the regatta concerts I went to, I never actually saw the artist. I heard them,
Right.
but I was never close enough to actually see the artist very well.
Yeah, I mean, I was a couple of blocks away on that show in 1986 for the Beach Boys. All right. WVU stuff. Let me ask you this. What do you think the storylines will be about WVU when they make their presentation at the Big 12 Football Media Day next week in Frisco, Texas? What do you think the general media around the Big 12 will have to say about the Mountaineers?
I think it's going to be very low-key. Predictions aren't great, which, I don't put a lot of stock in those because nobody really knows what each team has. I mean, you can look at their signings a little bit, but as far as, the competition to climb up in the middle of the conference or maybe a little bit higher, that could be there. WVU's taken fewer players, I think 3 than any other school. So they are definitely going to low-key it. I'm sure the players are going to be instructed to not say much at all. So I'm not expecting a whole lot other than, the storyline is probably what's the improvement arc. What's the difference between this year and last year? We thought it was going to be a little bit less player turnover, but it's actually been about the same as it was last year. So, I think that's going to be a thing. Coach Rodriguez always has, a couple of lines that he will be sure to get in that will make it onto the clips. But I have a feeling it's going to be kind of lower key.
You know, when Brent Yormark makes his remarks at the beginning of the media day, do you expect him to say a lot about the Brendan Sorsby situation or not?
No. I mean, the league obviously wants to put that behind it. I know Texas Tech certainly wants to. So, no, if he gets a question, there will be a general answer about, hey, the league needs to follow rules. It is, strictly and, vehemently anti-gambling. You'll get that messaging a little bit. But, no, I don't think that's going to be a big deal at all. I think it's going to be more about, even though you're 4 years away from the end of the TV contract, which expires at the end of the 31 regular season, 31 school year, you start positioning yourself a little bit for that. You start seeing what's out there. You start looking at streamers, all those options we've talked about in the past. So, I think that's a little bit of things he'll get on, and probably officiating too in football.
Yeah.
That's always a hot topic. So that and revenue generation obviously is the number one thing for everybody.
Hey, one more question about Sorsby before we move on to other stuff. I mean, inevitably, I think he's going to get a question, or somebody is going to bring this up about the fact that there are some schools in the Big 12, and although I don't think West Virginia has publicly come out and made a comment about this, that they want Texas Tech to pay for the legal fees in the Sorsby situation. When he inevitably gets that question, how do you think he's going to answer it?
I would think he will say that that's league business.
Okay.
That's something that they're not going to comment on publicly. I don't think that's a starter any more than I think Sorsby's attorney Heitner saying that the NFL had violated the law in saying that they weren't going to draft him. Which was one of the stupider things a lawyer's ever said, and that's obviously a big group of statements. But I think they really just want to put this behind them. I don't see that being something that you're going to get enough schools to vote for, because next month it might be somebody else that's getting that aimed at them. So I don't think they want to set a precedent in that regard.
So what's the story on the Big 12 this year in terms of football media day? Is there a preseason poll or not? I know that people voted on all conference preseason teams. Is there a poll?
No, to my understanding, there is not one again this year. It's going to be teams, but as far as having a preseason prediction, no, because in the end, that can get used against you, or it can turn out to work against you. So I don't know that any sort of buzz you get about saying, hey, Texas Tech or TCU or whoever is picked to win the league. Okay, that's great, but there's 100 of those predictions that come out from all across the landscape. I just don't think it's a big value for the league to do something like that.
Back to your remarks, and they basically set the tone for a lot of things that get discussed. I just wonder how much he's going to be talking about the bill that's going through Congress and where the Big 12 stands on an expanded football playoff that's gotten so much attention in the offseason.
Well, he has made some comments. I mean, not come out that I've seen strongly say yes, 100% in favor or whatever, but I think generally, yes, he's in favor of more opportunities just because the Big 12 has come out on the short end of that a little bit, just like it was more in favor of expanding the basketball tournament than it was against it. I don't necessarily think everybody is always going to be 100% in favor of something like that, but if that means another spot or hopefully another 2 spots for the Big 12, in the CFP, then, he's got to be in favor of that, because that just totally adds value to your own TV contract, your own negotiations, which we just talked about, are going to be coming up more quickly than what we're thinking about. So, I'm sure he will get some questions about that. I would think generally he's in favor of it.
Going back to West Virginia and what the storylines may be about the Mountaineers at the Big 12 Media Day next week, I think it's got to be surrounding offense, right? I mean, Rich Rod came back to West Virginia with a reputation of being able to create a lot of points, and for one reason or another, maybe the offensive line, maybe some inefficiencies, injuries last year, that didn't really happen. I got to believe there's going to be a lot of chatter about Michael Hawkins, and there's going to be a lot of talk about Cam Cook.
Oh, yeah, Cook definitely, because, he has been a productive player. Maybe not at the very top, of college football, but right there, and is obviously, has the numbers to back it up. The quarterback battle, yeah, that's an easier one. I think people that are more familiar with the team will be looking at kind of a combination of three things. Is the offensive line better? Because that makes, obviously, everything go. Could help the running game take some pressure off the quarterback. And number two, for the quarterbacks, which one can be the most accurate? Because in this offense, there may not be as much downfield passing as some other offenses have. So you've got to be accurate. You've got to be, well above 60% on your completion percentage. You can't be throwing the ball all over the field when you're throwing 5-yard passes. It can work, but, man, you got to put the ball on target. So, I think that's going to be something that you're focused on, especially when we get to fall camp. Who is making those passes the best? Who can execute the offense in that manner?
When it comes to football, obviously the proof is going to be in the pudding when teams get on the field and play actual games. But I think as far as the Big 12 Media Day next week, there's going to be a lot of focus on the presentation by a lot of these new guys. I mean, Eric Morris at Oklahoma State, Colin Klein had such a great track record everywhere he's been, and when he was a player at K-State, what's that going to look like? What's going to happen with Iowa State? Deion Sanders, after just miserable season last year, what's going to happen with these guys? And I think we're going to be watching their presentations to see what they have to say.
I think they will. I think one of the big points of focus is what players did some of those new coaches bring with them.
Oh, absolutely.
What guys came in from, to the new coaches at Oklahoma State and Iowa State. Obviously, the losses are big. I think Iowa State really got crushed in that regard. But, hey, maybe they can make up a little bit enough to have a representative season. So, yeah, I think when you put those two things together, you're looking at 4, 5, 6 teams that's going to be a lead storyline.
Hey, I'll get you out of here on this. It was really interesting last night, right after our show ended, and I'm on my way home. Suddenly I see an alert on my phone that the Celtics have traded Jaylen Brown to the Sixers. And, it wasn't that long ago where stories in the NBA really didn't have a lot of West Virginia connections, okay? But now you've got – that's probably after the first draft pick he made as the new president of ops for the Sixers, Mike Gansey. That's a signature trade, right? I mean, go on and get Jaylen Brown from the Celtics. How's that going to affect Joe Mazzulla? And how's that going to affect the Knicks, who probably didn't really have to really worry too much about the Sixers being a thorn in their side next season? So there you go. You have a major trade in the NBA in the East, and you've got 3 West Virginia connections to the story. That's kind of unique.
Oh, it absolutely is. And as a Sixers fan, I've kind of paid a little bit more attention to this one. I think they overpaid for Jaylen Brown a little bit in terms of draft capital. But, what do they turn it into this year? And, Gansey has certainly put himself out on the, edge on the forefront of for Sixers fans to look at and say, hey, you can't say he's just sitting back there and enjoying being a general manager. He is putting himself on the firing line for this one. That's going to be an early definer of his tenure with the Sixers.
Yeah, I mean, you take a look at it, the Sixers eliminated the Celtics in the playoffs last year. The Celtics had a 3-1 series lead in that best-of-7, and Philadelphia won 2 of the last 3 games that Boston hosted. And then the Celtics trade the Sixers, arguably their best player last season, at least their 1A option. I mean, it's a massive story today.
It's just kind of weird that you trade somebody to a division rival, to somebody that you play a lot, that you have such a history with. To me, it comes out being the Sixers were willing to pay more than anybody else was to make that trade. And that's why maybe one of the reasons why the Celtics did it. They obviously couldn't afford to keep both of their superstars, but still they probably should have or could have gotten something else. And when they did not get the deal done for Giannis, maybe this was just the next best one they have available. But, as a Sixers fan, definitely makes the summer a little bit more interesting in the NBA.
All right, Kevin, got to leave it there. Thanks for jumping on with us today. I do appreciate it.
Always good. Thanks a lot, Dave.
Kevin Kinder, BlueGoldNews.com. Let's take a quick break. We're coming back with more in a moment.
This is Hotline, presented by Salango Law on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
For couples that are experiencing infertility, about half will have the male factor in the diagnosis. At the WVU Medicine Center for Reproductive Medicine, we offer a wide array of treatment options for male factor infertility. There's really no reason you would need to go anywhere else. If we can identify and treat male factor infertility, we can prevent couples from even having to go down the road of IVF, saving you potentially money and time. We're here to help build a family. We have the capabilities and we care.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
For over 20 years, Dan Cava Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Our commitment doesn't stop when you drive off the lot. With factory-trained technicians and a service team you can trust, we're here to keep your vehicle running at its best for years to come. So when it's time to get your next vehicle, choose the dealership that's been serving the community for generations. Visit Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
If it matters in West Virginia, it's being talked about here.
I always said I was going to move to a mountain in Tucker County, but probably going to put a data center on it, so I got to find a new plan.
Join Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows for Talk Line on Metro News Television. Sports Line on Metro News Television.
I was sitting with a guy last night, and he said, all right, I'm going to go put $1,000 on it. Well, down the stretch of that ball game, he's looking at us like, are you kidding me? Sure enough, the Mountaineers came back. I saw him today. He said, yep, I'm putting another $1,000 on them tomorrow.
All right, welcome back. About 9 minutes till the hour. The Reds finally beat the Brewers this afternoon. Beat the Brewers and the Miz today, 7-2 in Milwaukee. And the Reds got off to a quick start. Sal Stewart goes oppo for a home run in the very first inning. Here's how it sounded.
It's driven right center field. That's gone. Stunned disbelief as Stewart goes opposite way in a hurry. His 17th shot of the season. He caught up to the heater, and it's 1-0 Reds.
So there you go. How about that?
Man, I tell you what.
That was a poke.
Yeah, and I'm telling you what, he is Really doing something else. He's got his average back up to close to 260. He now has 16 home runs and 60 RBI.
17 homers.
17 home runs and 60 RBI. He's about ready to set the Reds records for home run and RBI before the All-Star break, held by Frank Robinson.
So Chase Burns got the win today for the Reds. He's now 10-1. 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 4 Ks, gave up a home run, and he walked 2. Meanwhile, the Pirates beat the Phillies in Philadelphia this afternoon, 6-1. Stop me if you've heard this before. As Merlin Valdez, another big game, a triple, a single, he knocked in 2, and it was that triple in the 7th inning that put the Bucks in front.
Well, it's 1-0 to Valdez. You got to be careful with him. He's 1 for 3.
And crack to left center field. Like magic, he delivers again. Past the center fielder Crawford. Esmerlin Valdez into third base with an RBI. Triple to give the Pirates a 2-1 lead in the 7th inning.
So there you go. How about that? Man, Valdez, where is this coming from? So
pretty amazing.
He just stays hot, and the Pirates win 6-1. And as I mentioned, this is a big series this week, starting in Philadelphia after the Pirates had a 3-3 homestand. They in losing 2 of 3 to the Reds, actually. They go into Philadelphia. They win the first game of the series. They win this afternoon, and then tomorrow they will be moving on into Philadelphia, into Washington rather, to take on the Nats in a weekend series. Mitch Keller is going to start that game tomorrow.
I have to ask you real quick before we move on from the Pirates. Yesterday, you were kind of Heisman me a little bit with any panic that you had over Paul Skeens. He's fine. Everything's good. Any worries there? What's going on with him, man? He's getting lit up some.
Yeah, he really got lit up. There's a couple of things about Skeens. First of all, his velocity's down a little bit. And I think we've kind of come to the end of this is my personal catcher stuff. You know, when you are mowing everybody down every time you take the ball, every time you take the mound, you can do that. I don't know if they can really continue to have Henry Davis catch Skeens. Now, is there something physically wrong with him? Who knows? Yeah. Is the league catching up with him? The Phillies are a really good team. And this run of games where he really hasn't had very many good starts started with Philadelphia. And yesterday was probably the worst of these starts in this stretch. Am I worried? Yeah, why wouldn't I be?
He'll be all right, I think. He'll be all right, I think. But it's a little different. I wasn't expecting that, really.
No kidding.
I wasn't expecting that.
No kidding. And the question now is he the Pirates' lone all-star representative? We'll see. We'll take a break and come back and wrap it up for the day in a minute.
1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
For couples that are experiencing infertility, about half will have the male factor in the diagnosis. At the WVU Medicine Center for Reproductive Medicine, we offer a wide array of treatment options for male factor infertility. There's really no reason you would need to go anywhere else. If we can identify and treat male factor infertility, we can prevent couples from even having to go down the road of IVF, saving you potentially money and time. We're here to help build a family. We have the capabilities and we care.
For over 20 years, Dan Cava Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Our commitment doesn't stop when you drive off the lot. With factory-trained technicians and a service team you can trust, we're here to keep your vehicle running at its best for years to come. So when it's time to get your next vehicle, choose the dealership that's been serving the community for generations. Visit Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
For your daily fix of sports in West Virginia, there's only one stop. Sportsline on Metro News Television. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at WVMetroNewsTV.com. Join Kyle Wiggs, Coach Hunter, and Brad Howe weeknights for Sportsline on Metro News Television.
All right, folks, that's it for today. Stay tuned for the news and Sportsline. It's coming up next on the network. My name is Dave Weekley. I'll talk to you tomorrow beginning at 3:06 right here on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
This is Hotline, presented by Salango Law on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.